Boom, we're live.
Yo,
What's up, dude?
not much. See if the camera quality's a little better. No case, camera and audio. What's going on?
Oh, not much, man. Thank you for coming on, dude. This is pretty exciting. So, we're gonna do a little introduction for those who don't know. I doubt there's gonna be a whole lot who don't know, but we'll see. Mason Lane, everybody, round of applause. Your 2020 limited national champion, and I also, to my understanding, you've won a couple IPSC mats as well. And then you've had three top threes in production. So you've been cranking around in the top for quite a while. I mean, you've been around the block. You're no young pup in the sport. How long have you been doing this? We cannot hear you.
Or something.
Now we can hear you.
All right, all I did was get closer.
You got headphones? Headphones usually work pretty
Yeah,
good.
I'll give that a try. Yeah, I've been shooting for 2012 or 2013, depending on how you define participation. So been at it for a
2012 or
little while.
2013. So coming up on a decade.
Yeah, I think someone really clever said something about doing things for a decade once.
Is it your birthday today?
It is.
Dude, holy shit, happy birthday. I had no idea. You didn't let me know that it was your birthday, man.
Yeah,
Everybody's in here throwing happy birthdays left and right. Happy birthday, man.
well, thank you.
What are you doing on the podcast on your birthday? Shouldn't you be doing something fun, getting turned up, having some bush lattes?
Maybe I am.
There you go. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. So how old were you when you started this sport?
So I did like Steel Challenge and IDPA and stuff through a youth program when I was in the neighborhood of like 10 to 13, and I started doing USPSA more seriously like when I was in scouting, and so I kind of did what that program had to offer me. I did like went through the whole ranking process and all of that, and I just took it really seriously. And when I had that had sort of run its course, a bunch of my friends that were in the troop were all kind of older kids that were sick of teaching younger kids how to put on band-aids and stuff. So we all had a shared interest in shooting, so we started doing a youth program through there. And that was how I originally got involved with the shooting and doing all of that. We did a lot more Steel Challenge. We did like team-based Steel Challenge back when that was more of a deal, around like 2012 or so. And through going to AMU clinics, the junior clinics they used to run all the time. I don't know if they still do. I got involved in USPSA, and I basically just took it more seriously than all my peers did at the time. So,
Yeah, it seems to be that the people that actually put the work in seem to make it pretty far in this sport, as is the case with anything in life.
yeah, so
Um,
sustained interest and effort over time is definitely one of the factors that is a barrier to entry for some people.
yeah, it's huge, man. It's huge. I find myself like, I haven't really gotten burned out yet, but I find myself taking, a week or 2 week break, and it just kind of gets me back jazzed next time I pick up a gun. I'm like, oh yeah, this is really fun. Now I know why I keep wanting to do this.
Yeah, exactly. It's important to do every now and then because it gives you perspective, but it's something to be careful of. I know at least for me, taking a break, like especially over winter or punctuating, training to trade up cycles with time off is good. But for me, the sustained interest over time has never been the hard part. I've always enjoyed doing training and enjoyed shooting, so haven't really had any issue with that part. It's just more so the opposite. I'm forcing myself to take time away.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you've got a lot going on. I mean, how so? This is your birthday, obviously. How old? Excuse me. How old are you now?
24.
24. Jesus, you're younger than me. Usually, I'm always the young guy. It's weird. It's weird. I think you and Gianni are the only people younger than me I've had on the podcast.
Probably Jake too, right? I think Jake's a year older than I am.
Jay, is he? I don't know. He looks old.
Jesus.
No, I'm just kidding. He knows I'm kidding. I'm just messing with you. So, So what kind of so you've already got along with kind of what got you going, but when you started taking this really, really seriously, what did you notice that you were doing that got you kind of that gave you that edge pretty quick? Because you've been from I've only been in this sport 3 years, so I don't know this from experience, but I've heard that you've kind of been a problem as far as people having to shoot against you for people are saying, I think one guy said that he shot against you like 7 years ago and you kicked his teeth in when you were real young. So,
I
I
mean,
mean, you,
I got started and I made like master class in like a year, and I made like grandmaster I think either another year or 2 years after that. So I've been by classification doing decently well for obviously a while. But I think 2017 was sort of a watershed moment where a lot of things kind of clicked into place, and I was starting to perform really well at high level matches consistently. I went from like in 2015 and 16, I went from something like 23rd and 22nd respectively to third in 2017 at production nationals. So something sort of snapped into place there for sure.
what do you think that was?
It was mainly, if I could quantify it most easily, it's going to sound cliched. It's not different from anything anyone else has ever said, but it's understanding that I'm amply fast enough to hang with the people that I want to compete against. I just have to trust what I'm seeing and not get sucked into the sensation of speed or sensation of effort that feels fast, but frankly isn't, and is the predictability of results is not really there.
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. I think I'm hitting that journey as we speak. I get real sucked in sometimes into like I want to go fast, I want to go
You,
fast. I want to shoot fast.
Yeah, you should open major too, right? So I feel
Yeah,
like it's harder to avoid there. Like in production, I mean, if you shoot like an a-hole, you're gonna either run out of rounds or start racking up Charlies real fast, and it's gonna hurt your score.
yeah.
So it's a little bit easier to learn that lesson there.
Running out of rounds is really easy. Cut to my stage on the live at Low Cap Nationals.
Yeah.
Ran out of rounds twicey.
Oh yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, so so that is but I'm the more I talk to guys like you, the more I'm finding that people do better when they trust their process, trust their sights, and just shoot as fast as they can see acceptable sight pictures.
Yep.
And movement has a lot to do with it, but that is something that I'm pretty decent at movement. Now I'm trying to find that section of it, and yeah, finding 100 as you would call it, which by
Yep.
the way, coined term, great. Yeah, that was a solid one. That's actually one of the questions that I got was how did you come up with finding one, or how did you develop finding 100?
Yeah, it was a drill, or at least the concept was something that my original coach did. I had a coach, Jerry Tatro, who shot around the same New Hampshire area as me when I was first getting involved. He was one of the first ones that kind of got me hooked me up with sponsors that enabled me to participate in the sport. And he did similar exercises with everything we would do, where he would every single time you did a run, no matter what it was, he'd write down the score, the approximate hits, and the time, and it would give you easy data that you could reference and say, okay, over the course of this session, you've gotten X amount better, or something you did something way different technique wise in this run, it got this much better, and he would do things in that same vein, and he would do smaller, similar exercises where there's not as much movement involved, where it's more so like you're just kind of shooting an array, just like the same way I describe in the video if you watch the video. And he would say, all right, now basically, shoot at a speed where you can guarantee all A's. And he would just work it up, say, you're going to go a little bit faster, a little bit faster, a little bit faster. And he would, in the same sort of sense, make a chart and figure out at what point the wheels kind of consistently fall off based on effort, right? So all I really did from that point was kind of take that same sort of system and refine it and try to explain the ways that it's going to go wrong for people or what sort of stuff is going to kind of come out. And what's interesting about it is there's not really patterns that are easy to predict in individuals. Like usually you can kind of look at someone and say, all right, this dude's like, more or less a hoser, or he has this sort of mechanical issue that comes out in this context. And the issues people have with the drills aren't really predictable to the individual at all, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's a neat concept that I can't believe is available for free. So if y'all are listening to this, y'all need to go find Mason Lane's Finding 100.
Yep.
It'll, if you if you're intelligent enough to read into what that means, which it's actually very easy to understand.
It's
It
pretty
will help you
robust.
out. Yeah, it'll help you out a lot. It's pretty neat.
It's real robust in the sense that it's easy to follow the procedure. And part of I kind of tried to idiot proof it by making it pretty explicit what you're intended to do. And the part people get jacked up on is, you know, again, talking about falling into the sensation of effort or the sensation of speed, as it were, right? Like people talk about cadence or pacing, or they think about things in terms of timing when they're applying various amounts of effort. And that's the mistake where people won't really have particularly good results. It's usually when I explain it in a class setting, I say, all right, you're going to do this middle of the road run where you just kind of do what's comfortable. We'll smack that right in the middle column. And on either respective pole of that, you're not going to go faster or slower by design. You're just going to confirm either more or less depending what direction you're taking it. And a likely byproduct of confirming more is your time might be a little slower. On the opposite end, probably the opposite, right? But it's usually
Yeah.
not as much as you think. And when you attach people to the visual aspect of it, they tend to have much more predictable results as far as the time staying pretty much together, irrespective of how much effort you apply. But the predictability of the results as far as the scored hits are dramatically different across various levels of effort. So that's the one thing I think people definitely consistently get wrong with it when they try it on their own. So something to be careful of.
Yeah, yeah, it's a concept like that, right? Or how to work that drill and how to make it work. Um, People can kind of read into it one way or the other, but it's kind of good that you're explaining that because I'm sure some people watch it and go, "Oh, I don't know. Now I know that I'm doing that wrong." Right?
Yeah, and that was one of the criticisms that I got of it in passing when I went to the PSTG summit. Is I had like two or three guys say, "Yeah, I tried this, but I feel like I didn't really get it." And I'm like, "Oh, all right. Well, there's some things where you can get it wrong, right? It's like a lot of other drills where it's like doubles, for example, right? Where just understanding the procedure is a huge part of what people get wrong and why they don't really necessarily get anything out of it, right? Like there's more to the drill than just yanking the gun out and jerking off 8 shots as quick as you can, right? Like there's a lot of nuance that goes into making sure you're paying attention to the right stuff mechanically and what you're getting data wise out of it to make sure you're actually learning something from it. So it's kind of hard to get down. It takes a little bit of practice really just to get the drill right in a sense.
That's the problem when people. I'm a huge advocate for learning via the internet. I watch everybody's videos and try to take stuff from them, but that's why people need to take a class from you. So
Yeah.
if you're interested in finding 100 and you're not quick on your feet and can't watch a YouTube video and decipher it, just go to Mason Lane and take a class.
Yep. Yeah. Email me at masonlane.lsat@gmail.
Yep, there you go. Taking middle of the road nobodies and making them better.
That's my shtick, baby.
That's your stick, baby. All right, so real quick, I got to get this out of there. I have been telling all my buddies, right, that like one of the big perks for when I win a nationals would be to drink a beverage, an alcoholic beverage out of the chalice.
I got to live your dream, Trevor.
I'm sitting there, I watch you do it, and when I see you crack the beer, I turn
No,
I think it
no.
was Nils. I think I turned to Nils and was like, "Fuck, man!" I was like, "He's gonna do it." Now, if I do it, it's because Mason did it. I was like, "Son of a bitch!"
Look, man, I saw my opportunity and I took it.
Bravo, dude, because that was amazing. That was amazing. You had a great set of nationals, man. You got engaged.
Yeah.
You won a national title.
Yep.
You got to drink a beer from your trophy in front of all your peers and
Yep.
kind of go, suck it up, losers. Daddy's here. It was super dope, super dope. When that happened, when you did that, I was like, oh fuck, I feel like we could be friends. Like for sure, I was like, I could hang out with that guy. I could drink a beer with that guy.
Yep. No, it was definitely the Boneyard crew. Definitely, they floated the idea, and at that point, if I didn't take it, you know what your peers will say about you at that point.
Yeah. So from now on, if you win a limited title and you are of age, you have to pull a Mason Lane and drink a beer from a chalice.
And even if you're not, no one will take a picture of it. It'll be fine.
Exactly. Nobody will care. What are they gonna do? Call the cops? Nobody gives a shit. Yeah. Now I've said it. I gotta one up you. So now I gotta go up there with like a liter of Jack and
Oh man, that would, yeah. I'll leave
empty
that one to
that
you.
thing. Yeah, empty that thing in there, and then y'all gonna have to cart me out on a stretcher. But yeah, I just wanted to get that out of the way because that was amazing and bravo. Um, so get into a couple quick questions. We'll knock them out early so we can get to the fun stuff.
Sure.
Any interest in an Area 7 director run?
Uh, yeah, I mean, I like the guy that we have in there currently, in all honesty. He's amicable to talking, to sharing ideas about anything we have to go with. If you look at the minutes, right, it's like people at face value, they don't like that he supports the stuff that's going on that most people don't agree with. But he's usually of sound mind in that he will at least have a dialogue with you about why he's making decisions. So while maybe we don't share the same vision in that, he's idealistic and wants to promote a progressive vision for what we want on the board, he's not the enemy in the sense that he is deliberately derailing the program either. So
Yeah.
at least for my, like, where I'm at in life currently, like, I don't, it's the situation isn't bad enough in my area that I really feel the need to do that. There's people that are better qualified than me to do that job right now. So no, frankly.
Yeah. 10, 15, 20 years down the road, who knows?
Or even like, yeah, 5,
Yeah,
like
who
maybe
knows?
something will be different, but not right now.
Yeah. All right. So, best advice you'd give to a new shooter. I know this, you probably get this every single time. And every person I have on this is an ask question, but it's an important one.
Yeah. Probably if I had to put it in order, choose a division that works for your lifestyle. And by that, I mean, don't jump into shooting a division where you have to sink in nearly 10 grand into guns and equipment just to shoot major or then have to reload ammo, right? Yeah, like the startup costs are pretty considerable, even if you're shooting a PORS division, right?
Yeah.
So I started my fiance on PCC because I had one, and she could learn like sort of the rules and customs that way, take the marksmanship and difficulty equation pretty much out of the picture, and just learn how the sport works, and then moved her on to carry optics from there. So you're shooting a minor gun with a dot on it, makes it very easy to learn the actual shooting portion, right? Other than that, I would say solicit training early. It's good to take a reputable instructor. It doesn't have to be a world beater person. Someone who is M class, GM class in your area. If you find them and sort of beat down their door and try to learn as much from them as you can, you'll get a lot out of that early on. And then definitely hardwire your training to some kind of literature that's out there that people talk to about in a positive light that seems reputable to you, that you can then use as a backboard to sort of bounce ideas off in your own training. A lot of people have a lot of luck with Ben's book, myself included. His practical shooting training book is subdivided into sections where essentially you have, by skill level, you have 4 levels where they prioritize all the existing drills and literature, and they basically give you the feedback and information that you need exclusively and nothing extra at your respective level. A lot of people also have a lot of luck with Steve Anderson. I like that his stuff is cut and dry, and that it's pretty much like, hey, if you follow this, like, you're going to get this much better, and all you have to do is then have the sustained interest over time to follow it. I haven't read much of his stuff myself, frankly, because I've always had a lot of luck with Ben's work, and so I've just never felt the need. But those two together are pretty good for most people.
Solid advice. Yeah. I got into it in limited, but like plastic guns.
Yeah.
Shot a canic before it was cool, before Nils even knew what a canic was.
Yep.
And then Atlas is in this party. Hello. Then I got hooked on the Atlas Smack. Never go back. So sitting here itching for a Chaos 2.0.
Yep.
But but yeah, that's solid advice, man. Start, because I see a lot of people jump into this and they go head first into 2011s and everything else, and they go head first into open and they have no idea how expensive it gets really
And
fast.
like we talked about earlier too, it's like there's a lot when you shoot, like, say, a PCC or you shoot an open gun. Some aspect of that marksmanship equation is taken out of the picture due to the fact you're shooting presumably a 60-ounce gun with a 2.5-pound trigger with a comp and a dot on it. Like, a lot of that work of learning how to shoot a piece of shit gun really well is pretty much taken out of the equation. You
Yep.
learn a lot from that. I mean, I started shooting with a essentially stock Glock 34, and the second the P320 came out, I switched to shooting that thing completely stock, and I shot it completely stock for 2 whole years, right? And being forced to be good with a gun that's, less than ideal for competition will teach you a lot more than teaching, shooting a gun that's optimized for anything. A huge part of what I find in students is they have habits that are, that shooting major or shooting a dot or shooting a 1 ounce trigger, they're never going to get better at. Like I prescribe to a lot of people start shooting carry optics because you need to shoot a shitty gun to figure out how to pull a trigger straight and not have your whole hand clamp around the gun or whatever the case may be.
Yep. Yeah, I go back and forth uh, at least once every couple weeks. I'll pick up, my HK or my Canic or something and just shoot it for a practice session
Yep.
just to realize if anything's off because a really good 2011, I know this sounds stupid, can hide some small mistakes. It
No,
really
it's
can.
totally true.
And especially if like Ivan's doing your triggers at Atlas, that guy just got my guns back. My triggers are sick.
So how much do you if you do it that routinely, how much do you find needs to be adjusted when you jump back on it usually?
Not much. I find myself really lax on my trigger control at distance. I'm not giving it as much respect as I should. Um, open,
But
yeah. Go ahead.
but on like a Canic though, I mean, if you're using a hinge trigger where the overall travel is like closer to like 3/4 of an inch, I mean, even if the thing is at like 1 pound, it's going to be the way that you manipulate in terms of the overall distance and the weight is going to be way different than on a 2011 trigger.
Yeah, yeah. Um, that's true. But just some trigger control stuff, some dot confirmation stuff that I could probably do without. That once I go back to a carry optics Canic, I'm like, ugh,
Yeah.
and then I find myself, I find myself gripping my gun a little. I don't want to say loose, but my grip is a little bit sloppy in some ways sometimes. Whereas, with a 2011, my thumb's locked up and everything's just kind of set in one way. And then when I pick up a Canic and everything changes, I find myself gripping the ever loving piss out of that Canic. And I'm
Yeah.
like, then I pick my open gun back up and I grip it the same way. And surprise, surprise, my
Yeah.
dot is moving just a little bit less.
Yeah. It doesn't leave the window or whatever the case may be.
Yeah. So it's good to kind of go back and forth because you get comfortable.
Yep. No, I agree. I don't, I mean, I shoot the same gun for essentially everything. I use the X5 or its variants for production carry optics and limited, which is the only thing I've ever attempted to shoot seriously. I shot last week or the week prior. I shot a match in open with Kay's checkmate just because she had it laying around and we got put a bunch of new crap on it. And I'm like, all right, we have all this stuff on the gun. I have like 1 week to get ready for this match. It's the only time I'm gonna have time to shoot this thing this year without messing with my training. I might as well try it. And that was a way different experience, but I deliberately didn't put a gas pedal on it. I didn't worry about tuning it down with springs and loads and stuff. Like I'm just gonna give it to her, and whatever happens, happens. Like I want the mechanics to be as similar as possible.
Yeah, somebody just asked that, and then that was one of the questions. What'd you find from shooting open? Did you like it? Are we going to see you in open anytime soon? What's up?
I'll definitely. I mean, the part that interests me about open is the people that shoot there. It's not the guns. Like it's shooting against people that I think in all honesty, to be proficient in open, you have to spend a lot of time getting tuned into the gun because you look at the top performers and they're shooting so fast. It's not they're not shooting the way that you could if you say, for example, shot production and then picked up a limited gun and decided to shoot limited for some crazy reason, right? I think
Yep.
the skills transfer across divisions, but the guys that are shooting open, they're tuned to their gun in a way that their predictive shooting is like on another level. And I don't feel that you can hang with those guys unless you spend a considerable amount of time there. So for that reason, it's interesting to me to go shoot it. It's the shooting a cool gun that has a couple more advantages on it that probably doesn't work as reliably as my production gun. That part is a deterrent to me. But the guys that are there competing against them is interesting.
That was my main focus for going to open is I wanted to compete against those guys.
Hmm.
And you are right because skill for skills, they can be pretty even playing field. But again, the instinctive shooting you're talking about, some of the stuff that they do It's
Yeah,
just, it's a
yeah,
little ridiculous.
and I stage planning rarely matters like at all, but it's interesting to me the situations where I watch like the open super squad. They do wacky shit, man. I remember at I want to say what it had to have been 2020 nationals. The last stage I shot, stage 7. There's you shot it in a bar where you started on one side, went all the way to the other, and I saw guys taking like 15, 17 meter swingers, like partial swingers, like crouched through a window. And I'm like, are you
Yep.
guys on meth? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, why would you ever do that? But like half the squad did it, and I'm like, well, that's interesting. There's something that they know something that I don't that works for their whole system, and I want to figure it out. Just because for no other reason, as a student of the sport, it's very interesting to me.
Yeah, I learned really quick because I came from limited. I learned really quick when I went to open my first couple major matches. Because I kind of broke into open right. I shot with Hyder, Range Panda, all Gianni, all those guys.
Yep.
I shot with all them at Area 3 pretty early into open. And some of the shit that they were doing, I was like, we're doing what now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, they're walking the stage, and I'm like, this makes zero sense,
Yeah.
like, whatsoever. And
Yeah.
then
No.
they started explaining it to me, and I'm like,
Yep.
you son of a bitch, I'm in.
Yeah. One of the things that I found interesting about it, shooting, of course, only shooting with for 1 week. I mean, you have like a huge disclaimer, like, hey, I only shot this thing for 1 week. But I noticed when I shot that Mid Atlantic section match, uh, my times were obviously back because I'm just not tuned into the gun. Like I'm making like whole second mistakes on almost every stage, and I'm like, all right, well, yeah, I'm 4 seconds back on the stage, but I can look at the video and 2.5 seconds that are accounted for in X missed reload or missed draw or missed position or whatever the case may be. But also, the guy that beat me is a notoriously like hair on fire, like raging fast open shooter, and he trounced me on points on a match where like there was kind of a medium-ish shot difficulty, and the part I didn't account for, and my rationalization of it was you have a dot in open, and like in a lot of cases, like hitting points at the same speed is really not any harder than not getting them, right? So my whole system for sort of prioritizing how to lean on hit on power factor for limited was essentially every say factor that a stage is, say you segregate 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 factor stages as the case may be, depending on assuming it's a full size stage, you get some X number of discretionary spending as far as how many points are allowed, shots are allowed to not be alphas, right? Because the points spend some X way depending what power factor you're using. They spend a lot slower in limited, where you only lose 1 point for every Charlie. But as long as you kind of have a loose idea of how many Charlie it's appropriate to drop on whatever factor stage you're shooting, you can basically just choose to spend those on targets that are riskier, right? And otherwise, you shoot at the same speed, you just aim every shot and just aim in different places depending on how many tight shots you have or whatever, and what the factor of the stage is, and you're safe, right? That was pretty much my whole strategy, switching from prod straight to limited. And that strategy probably doesn't work quite the same way in open, where you have the ability to sort of sneak rounds past partials. You have the ability to hit, far open targets at speed and get proper points on them. So there's things about that I don't fully understand yet that I would like to understand. That's the part of it that's interesting to me.
Yeah, it's really, I always tell people, man, open is the Formula One. It's,
Yeah, definitely.
no, not a lot of people shoot it. But it is a different animal. Once you really tune into the gun and really just decide you're going to go balls deep in it, it gets real fun real fast. Also gets really frustrating really fast
Yep.
because the little mistakes are what kill you.
Yep.
Like shooting against guys like Casey and Christian and JJ and all those guys. They're not gonna make those tiny mistakes, or at least not as many. And your tiny mistakes it's like death by 1,000 cuts.
Yeah, 100%. Like you watch Christian shoot a match, and like he doesn't look like he's trying very hard when he's doing it, right? Like he's not leaning on the gas when he's shooting through matches. And that's obvious by looking at his points.
Yeah, it's pretty frustrating. But
I can
I'll
see
get
that.
that some bitch one of these days. Um, maybe we'll see. I will. I'll get him. I'll get him. Everybody's beatable. That's
That's
the
right.
beauty of it.
Yep.
Everybody's beatable. Nobody's undefeated. But yeah. So this year, are we? So I know last year you won limited with a unicorn gun. It's pretty awesome. Are you going to shoot that same gun in limited nationals this year?
Possibly, probably not. So Gray Guns is working. The gun that I shot last year was essentially it was the bottom half of the gun from the frame down was just an X5 Legion, right? With a magwell on it and obviously different magazines and stuff. Not aftermarket mags, but different base pads and springs and what have you. And the top end was more or less a 4.7 inch 40 cal 320 slide with a bunch of like where the factory slides have a bunch of internal cuts to make them lighter to make the things cycle reliably. They basically they didn't cut a lot of those out, so there's a little more mass in the slides. The thing shoots softer, more predictably. Uh, I'll be shooting probably, assuming everything goes to plan, I'll be shooting a different gun at this nationals that'll be very much different than that. We have projects coming out that are going to be good for limited. Put it that way.
Heyo, here we go. So you're gonna obviously, production nationals is over for this year.
Yep.
So carry optics is going to be your main focus, I would imagine, for the rest
Yep.
of the year. And
Exactly.
since World Shoot's not happening, son of a bitch, um, you just gonna kind of buckle down and have some fun this year, or are you still gonna keep your same training and just carry it over into World Shoot next year?
No, I'll have to tune into to the Iron Sights channel once every month or so to make sure I can at least put on a reasonably respectable show in limited because it would be unfair of me to not try to in earnest to defend that title. It's only fair to the guys that I didn't get to shoot directly against on their squad last year that I go and give it another honest attempt. But the plan is essentially to buckle down hard on carry optics and to take a serious shot at that title because it's going to be in probably the most highly contested national since 2015 in production. So it's going to be a once every one or two matches every decade you get a chance to shoot against that much heat at one time. So that's the plan.
Carry optics this year is gonna be nuts.
Yeah, it's there's going to be probably three full super squads full of people that are like viable top 10 contenders.
Easy, easy. It's gonna be
Yeah.
dope. I'm excited to watch it. I'm gonna come in for the final day.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm gonna come in for the final day, watch the final day, kind of chill out a little bit, see what's going on,
Yeah,
and then
it's going to be bananas.
yeah, it's gonna be awesome. I was thinking about shooting it, but I don't have a carry optics gun that I have my Canic, but
What do you mean? Tell me more.
I have my Canic,
Okay.
but I really, if I'm gonna do that, I'd like to shoot something like a Shadow 2 or something like that.
Yeah, I can see that.
Some, yeah. Something a little bit different.
If you get
Don't
like a
get me wrong.
Shadow 2 and like crank like 125s out of it at like 130, 135 power factor, it'll probably feel pretty similar to an open gun.
Yeah,
Kind of
yeah,
shocky. Put a nice light spring in it.
yeah. Might as well. I might just shoot my open gun. Have them bump me to open. Who
I bet
cares?
you'll win open. That'd be
I
crazy.
bet you I will. Yeah. People are gonna be like, "What the fuck happened here?"
I got bumped on stage one, man. I don't know what happened.
Probably still gonna lose to Max. It's bullshit. Or whoever wins. But yeah, that's gonna be exciting, man. Because I mean, for the last how many years straight has Max won that carry optics title?
They rolled it out provisionally in 2015, and he's won every one. So
Six,
yeah,
five.
five of them.
Yeah. So
Six, yeah, six.
six, five or six. It's a
Yeah,
lot.
math.
Whatever. Um, so you're going for the title.
Yeah.
And there's a few other people going that I think have a distinct chance. Because, like I said, everybody loses. But how much would it mean to win that title from him?
A lot.
Say he's second, third, fourth, right? Nothing disastrous happens, right? His gun doesn't break on a stage and he zeroes it, whatever. But say you go shot for shot, nut shot for nut shot, and you come out on top, right? That's
Yeah.
going to be huge because you
Yeah.
just dethroned one of the goats.
Yep. No, when I after limited nationals, I said, I obviously took like a month to basically just like, party and love my life because that's a lifelong achievement, of course. But I said from that point it's like, all right, if I capture a production title and a carry optics title respectively in the same year, that would be like I'm gonna have to pretty much reevaluate what I do with my life, because at that point you've done a lot of what there is to do as far as what I want to accomplish in the sport. Short of a world title, which frankly it requires a lot of luck to even get in the conversation with winning a world title. I've accomplished pretty much everything I could hope to at that point. I would have to do something majorly different. So I still have the production thing to check off, right? And I know I have the skills to make that happen. I just have to put together the correct match one of these years. The carry optics title is the next logical choice. I mean, I've done historically better in carry optics matches than I have in production matches. I shot 2017 was the first time I had ever been on a super squad in the carry optics match, and I think I finished fourth. I finished fourth in CO I think 3 different times. So I have a lot of the white noise of shooting production is taken out, and it gels well with my style really well. And it would mean a lot to me to do that for sure, especially at a match like this where it's going to be so hotly contested. I mean, that's whoever walks away with that. That's an extremely prestigious title, like way more than any year prior to that, more than any match since 2015 or 2014 for sure.
It's going to be huge.
Yep.
It's going to be huge. It's going to be a match for the ages, which is why I want to shoot it. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. I talked to Brian over at Hunter's Gold. He has a shadow, too. He'll let me borrow that little fancy chameleon one.
There you go.
That's tempting. I may do that. I got to look tonight and see what squads are open. I may jump in. I don't know.
Why not?
Why not? Yes, I do. Or I did have Glocks with I had 2 Glocks with really nice triggers, but those actually just went bye-bye.
Hawk them?
Straight up trade for some awesome deal on some primers, homie.
It's a pretty good deal. There you go.
It's a really good deal, man. Guy was like, yeah, dude, I got how many do you have? 25,000 primers?
That's a good deal. Yeah, that's a really good deal these days.
25,000 primers for a stock Glock and another Glock that was pretty tricked out, but I did it on myself. He was like, yeah, I just want a couple Glocks. I was like, I got you, bro.
Yep.
But yeah, man, I'm excited for this Nationals, man. God, the idea of watching you drink a Busch Latte out of the chalice at Carry Optics Nationals is getting me kind of jazzed up. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie to you. Because at this point, like, everyone expects Max to win, right? Like, I think didn't last year.
It's a logical assumption. I mean, he's any match where he goes and he doesn't have, a considerable amount of heat, he's going to win by 5% or more. Like, it's really not even a discussion.
Yeah.
So he's the logical choice, right? But
yeah,
everyone's gunning for it now.
I don't know if this is factual or not, so I probably shouldn't say it, but I think he left Nationals before the award ceremony last year, correct?
I don't know. I didn't shoot CO last year, so I really wasn't paying much attention.
I think I heard, because I think I heard that he had to leave early for some reason, but had a picture with the trophy. I'm on a plane by the time everyone gets done, but we all know who did it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's a baller move.
It is a baller move.
It's a baller move. But yeah, man, I'm excited to see this Carry Optics Nationals really make me want to shoot it. You know what?
Yep.
I think I'm going to.
You should.
I think I'm going to. I'm going to take a little more time off work than I intended. But luckily my boss is awesome, so I don't think
where else would you rather be than Alabama?
Exactly. If I get in, it's waitlisted, so they're going to have to go through and approve me, and I don't know if anyone is going to hit that approve button for me right now. We'll see.
Worth the dice roll. Worst thing happens, it doesn't happen.
Yeah, worst thing that happens, it doesn't happen. Who cares? But yeah, it could be fun. When you win, just do the Tony Montana for me. Someone said for you to do the Tony Montana.
Which part?
Yeah, which part of the Tony Montana are you talking about? There's a lot of. Do you want him to snort a whole bag of cocaine on stage? Is that what you want to happen?
Yeah,
or you want him to like shoot a grenade launcher into the corner?
Yeah, I don't know, but
yeah, it's gonna be a good one, man. I'm excited for it. How long have you been live? 39 minutes. You're late to the party. Outfit to win. But yeah, first time I ever met you was at the award ceremony for 2019 Nationals in Utah.
Yep.
You had a broken hand.
Yep.
You shot the whole match one-handed.
Yeah.
So
I had a good
I
reason for that.
yes, you wanted to make a world shoot slot.
Yep.
So got to do what you got to do.
Yep.
So I watched you shoot like 3 stages before we left, and I was like, "Who the fuck is that guy?"
The Conor McGregor. Who the
Yeah.
fuck is that guy?
Well, I'm new to the sport, right? Like I've only been shooting since 2018 was my first year, right? So 2019, I'm a year in. I didn't know everyone, right? I knew the big names, I knew my local guys, I knew some of the guys that are in my area, but I'd never shot up north and first like really big nationals, right? I shot 2018 nationals, but that was a shit show. I shouldn't have even been there. I shot like 39,000 mics.
Nice.
But yeah, I was like, is this dude is shooting one handed? I was like, what the hell's going on? And then someone was like, oh yeah, he's got to shoot for the world shoot, so he's got to get points. And I was like,
Yep.
this fucking savage is out here shooting one handed. You
Yeah,
beat a lot of people too.
I made a hitch decision in July, and I saw the opportunity to qualify for both teams and basically just choose. And so that's what I did. I decided to shoot CO at that match, and which relied on me shooting both those other nationals, or at least one of them, well enough to qualify. So I had no choice. I mean, with essentially, I broke my hand, I think, or my wrist, like I want to say 2 or 3 weeks prior to that match, to the first nationals at High Cap Nats. So I, not knowing if it was going to be better and knowing I was going to have to get it operated on, I had really no choice but to try to go do as good as I can in both those matches. So it didn't really matter how I felt about it. I didn't want to do that, but it was what I had to do. And in retrospect, I'm glad I did, because I learned a ton about not just one-handed shooting, but my shooting at the time in general. When you're think about it this way, the way I've explained it best, I feel, is if you put a digital trigger in your gun, so the gun could only go off like once every half second, right? Think if you're playing like Modern Warfare and you're shooting like a bolt action gun, right? So gun can only go off once every 0.75 seconds accurately. You have to be very, very efficient about making sure you are as far along, shooting targets either as early as you possibly can or exiting on them and shooting them as late as you possibly can, because of the fact your shooting speed is essentially fixed, right? So you spend a lot of time just kind of standing in spots looking at targets that you'd like to be shooting faster, but you can't, right? So
No
you learn a
shit.
lot about shooting on the move and about position entries and exits when you're kind of put in that position. Every time someone jacks up their hand or whatever, now I get tagged in Instagram posts like, "Oh, look what I'm doing." I'm like, "Sorry,
Go,
but you'll learn a lot."
I'm gonna go pull a Mason Lane.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like pulling a Mason Lane or getting Farewell. That's like the two big ones right now.
Yep.
Yeah, dude, and you did well at that nationals. Like
Yeah.
I saw you shooting one-handed, and if I hadn't have seen you shoot, I would not have looked at your scores and believed you did that one-handed.
Yeah, no, it was good. I mean, the carry optics match was way more technical than the prod match was, but I think I did 75 and 85% respectively at CO and production. Which, I mean, 85% with one hand is like nothing to joke about. The slightly easier match definitely played well to that, but I was pretty satisfied with that.
Listen, if somebody shoots one-handed against me and they shoot 85%, I lost. Let's just be real here. Can we just be honest? That's an L.
Yep.
Because I guarantee you that extra hand is more than 15%. Okay?
Yeah, it was. I wouldn't want to have to do it again, but I'm glad that's in the rear view. Put it that way.
Yeah. Somebody is asking if you can confirm if Jason Bradley likes Truly Tees.
He
So
does. It's absolutely true. So for all the audience, all 28 of you at the moment, and everyone else at home listening after the fact,
I got
you got to
34.
cop yourself 34. I'm lagging. What the hell's going on? Anyway, for everyone at home, you got to cop yourself a case of Truly Teas. They're refreshing. They're delicious. They're the best thing going. And Jason Bradley loves them. I mean, he told me himself that it's his favorite beverage, that they cool him down on a hot summer day. And he said, if you don't drink Truly Teas, then F you. That's what he said to me. So he doesn't like it, but it's true.
Okay, and the homicide is going to happen after this. Yeah, dude, that's Truly Tees. Here we go. I better see the Jason Bradley's laughing his ass off. I better Truly Tees, the official sponsor of the Bangin Brass podcast.
That's right. There we go.
Oh man, no, that's funny. Um, so World Shoot got canceled, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You happy or upset? You happy or sad about that
I
one?
could care less. I mean, at this point, like I'm getting married this year, and I have plenty of other things that I'm cashing. Thank you. I have plenty of other things I'm sinking money into that I have time to do. Even with the prospect of going to traveling to Thailand under normal conditions this year was kind of daunting. I had basically into October. I had both nationals, a two IPSC match, three IPSC matches. I had the Pan American Extreme, the Pan American Championship, and then World Shoot. So then those 2 months together were fixing to be like up there with the busiest months of my life, and spending exorbitant amounts of money and not making any. So I mean, I'm fine with that. I can take another year and recoup financially and do some other stuff. But everyone's all bummed out about it. Guys like in your position are bummed out about it because they want to qualify, right? But in my position, I could care less.
I'm I'm mixed, right? I wanna have the chance to qualify for the next one, right? But another year isn't gonna hurt it,
No, it's
right?
true.
It's
Yeah.
only gonna help me be ready to qualify,
Yep.
right?
It's true.
So I'm not super mad. Now, if I was competing in this worlds, I might feel a little bit different. But I'm with you. Like I had the Pan American, the Extreme Euro or the Extreme Pan whatever, and then Nationals, and then Area 4, IPSC Nationals, like all these
It's
other
just
in
too
the
much crap.
same month. I was looking at those 2 months going, oh,
Yeah.
like I sent an email to my boss with my shooting schedule when I had it all fixed up and was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and he yeah, and he was like, looks savage, but okay.
Yeah.
I was like, you cool with that? And he was like, ooh, I mean, well, you're gonna be working from the phone, just so you know. I was like,
Yeah.
I always do. He's like, I hope you're prepared for 400 emails a day whenever you're in that hotel room after a long match. I was like, bring it
Yep.
out.
Yep.
But
That's tough, man. Yeah.
but
It's like no matter how you slice it, right? Like in the best of times, like every away match you go to that you have to get on a plane for is $1,500 gone, no matter what. If you're lucky, right? So it's all of that was racking up quick, and between the prospect of all the nonsense they're wanting us to do to go to Thailand with COVID going on, it's like I wasn't down for it anyway. And if it's like that again next year, I won't go. I mean,
yeah,
it's they're saying right now it's a double-ended 2-week quarantine going into that country or into ours. So it's like I'm gonna go fix to spend $3,000 to sit in a hotel so I can quarantine, and then not see Thailand. Like I'm literally across the globe. Like I want to go see Thailand, and
yeah, it's not
that's
like you
not in the
can
cards
go
either. So
travel
it's
around.
no. So I don't really care. I mean, at this point, I'm getting to a position with it where like I don't necessarily even care if it happens at all or not. Like it's
Yeah.
just it's been put off for a long time.
What's so how does it work whenever you qualify for the team and stuff? How much of the expenses does USPSA actually cover?
So they give you $500 stipend, and they cover your actual entry fee, which is $500, and they fix you up with a shirt.
So they cover your entry fee and a shirt.
It's $1,000 plus a shirt.
Okay, so $500 for the entry fee, $500 to help with travel,
Right. Yeah.
and a shirt.
Yep.
So no.
It wasn't always like that, from what I understand. I mean, I shot the 2014 World Shoot, but I did it as an individual. I wasn't on a team, so you don't get. I don't. I mean, I can't remember specifically. I don't think you don't get very much, but it used to be different, like way back in the day. Like I know under Voigt, for example, is significantly more money, but you know things have gone differently.
It's because the money was going to the shooters.
Yep.
But anywho, yeah, man, that's ridiculous. That's
Yeah.
absolutely crazy. Because I looked it up. That's a $7,000 trip at a minimum.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was looking more at the neighborhood of like 3,500, but still, I mean, that ain't jump change either.
Between flights, hotel, food,
Yep.
everything.
Yep.
Ammo,
Yeah.
because you're gonna have to ship ammo there or get
If
ammo
if
there.
yeah, if you even can, that's
Yeah.
another benefit of shooting prod.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Give me some nine. Yeah, I don't
Yep.
know how you work that in open, especially if you're shooting 38 Super, because 9 Major is way more popular over there than 38 Super Comp.
Yeah, I mean, borrowed 9 major kind of dices me out too. I don't know if I'd be into that. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
no, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. Comments are going awesome right now.
I'm not getting
Um,
any now. I don't know what's going on.
I think I don't know what's going on with yours, but um, yeah, some people are saying USPSA should pay more, but they're short on funds. Somebody said digs into bonuses. Someone else said exactly. Someone just said nice beard. I'm caught. Like, you see these little white trash spots here? See this? It doesn't grow, and I look like a filthier version. Like, I look like a trailer park Keanu Reeves.
Just spray paint it like Don Lemon.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I look like a redneck downs Keanu Reeves. That's what this looks like. but uh, but we'll see. I was making a solid attempt, but I don't know if it's gonna make it to morning. We'll see. But might just go back to the old goat. Works pretty nice
Mm,
for me.
mm.
But uh, but yeah. So you're getting married, dude.
Yep.
Super exciting.
Yeah, very.
Super exciting. When are y'all? Have y'all already planned everything, or y'all set a date and all that stuff
Oh
yet?
yeah,
Or
it's happening in August. We got to fix up some more, a couple more things as far as logistics go, but it's set to go. We're doing it on our own place, so irrespective of how the shamdemic goes at that point, we're just gonna be able to do our own thing. Have 200 of our closest friends over and have a party and with a wedding attached. So it's gonna be a good time.
that's awesome, dude. Yeah. So for everyone listening, we should all crash his wedding. A bunch of
Do it.
shooters, run in drunk, just
DM me. I'll send you the address.
bunch of Bush Latte 36ers and some chalices running around.
There we go.
Yeah, dude, that's super pumped, man. I remember getting married. It's a fun time. Y'all have
Mhm.
y'all planned a honeymoon? Are y'all gonna do a honeymoon or what?
We were wanted to do a tack on trip for Thailand, but that ain't gonna happen, obviously. So we're gonna do probably some domestic trips, some relatively inexpensive like national parks or something like that around just around the states this year. I think we're batting around the idea of doing an Alaska trip next year, which would be really cool. So we'll do something. I mean, it's kind of up in the air what that'll be, but it'll be good.
Dude, Florida and Texas wide open, baby.
Yep.
Take you a trip to Destin or the Keys, or we got
Yep.
Padre. Mexico's great this time of year. Go down
Yep.
there. There ain't no pandemic in Mexico. No
There's
shamdemic over
there's
there.
not here either.
Yeah, there's not here either. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm coming up there for Area 7 in, was that 2 weeks? 2 weeks or something like that?
Yeah,
Uh,
it's coming up very quickly, actually. I
I'm
think it is
ex-
2 weeks.
yeah, 2 weeks. I'm excited to see what the North is like now, because last year we went up there kind of peak COVID time for Area 7. Was it last year or the year before?
It's I obviously don't remember,
I think it
but
was
it's
last year.
things up this way are like we're obviously considered profoundly more liberal by and large the populace up here than is down in your way. But at this point, like you wouldn't know anything is going on walking around at all.
That's awesome.
Like it's nobody gives a shit anymore.
Yeah, I like that. I don't remember it being too bad when we were there before either. I think we went I think it was 2019 that we went. I don't think it was 2020. I don't remember. They all run together at this point.
Yep. No, it's
You
a
do
nice
so
area
many
though.
of these
It's
things.
beautiful. It's a really nice part of the country, except for the policy.
Yeah, yeah. The policy. What's the policy?
Well, I mean,
Oh, like
New
the local
Hampshire's like
government. Yeah.
nestled in between a bunch of retarded states, so that's
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
an issue.
Yeah, yeah. I liked that area though. It was freaking gorgeous.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time up there because we took a couple extra days to go see Atlas and all that other
Yep.
stuff
Yeah,
and
Vermont's gorgeous.
yeah, dude, I was kind of jelly because at the time I lived in the desert in Midland, Texas. Now I live in Houston again. It's all nice and purdy and green.
Yep.
But we got to get you down this way for a class, man.
Yeah, bang my line, man. My availability is pretty good, so.
Yeah, I know you've been training. I know you've been training the old big boss over at Atlas.
Yep.
He's been speaking super highly of you. Every time I
Yep.
talk to him, he's like, "Bro, Mason's fucking showing me all this shit. You better watch out. I'm coming for you." I was like, "Come on
He's a
with
good
it."
student. Yeah, he's a good student.
Yeah, he's a fun guy, dude.
Yep.
I got to spend a week with that guy in Vegas. Holy shit, he is a good time. Your shit just cut out?
Yeah, I did for a second.
Got that New Hampshire Wi-Fi?
Yep. Oh, all right. There we go.
There we go. Are you going to SHOT Show this upcoming year?
No way.
No?
Not
Just
unless someone tells me I have to, but not if I can avoid it.
have you've been to SHOT Show before, obviously, right?
Yeah, I've been twice.
Twice. Not a fan?
No, it's not my scene at all. I think you can tell that from my general demeanor and tone and literally everything about my personality is not really my gig if I can
Yeah.
avoid it.
Yeah, for sure. I had fun when I went, but I was also hanging out with the homies. Like
Yep.
I had good people there with me, so I didn't really spend a whole lot of time doing the whole SHOT Show shenanigans.
Yep.
But this year should be interesting to
Yep.
say the least. But so you got Area 7 coming up. What other area matches are you shooting?
8. That'll be it for me, area match
7 and
wise.
8.
Yep. Yeah, I did. Yeah, just 7 and 8 this year.
Come down to 4, bro.
Could. When is that?
Same time as Ipswich Nats.
So July.
Uh, fuck, is it in July?
Well, IPSC Nats usually in July.
Then probably. I don't know. I gotta look. I'm terrible with dates, bro.
I don't know if I'm given a split 50-50 decision between Central Florida in July and Galveston in July. I don't know which I prefer.
None of them. None of them.
Yep.
None of them. This humidity is garbage water.
Yep. Yeah, it's not been pleasant in my experience.
Yeah. I'm not used to this humidity. I'm used to, West Texas, no humidity, hot, 110 degrees, but not humid. Here, I go practice for an hour and I look like I jumped out of a damn swimming pool.
2015 and 16 Nationals, when they used to host the Nationals in Barrie, it was. I always I sound like I used to walk up to school in the snow both ways, uphill both ways, but those two matches, it was the hottest I've been in my entire life. Is if you ever been to the range in Barrie, it's essentially on a damn mountain. So like the parking lot is at the base of said mountain, and stage one is all the way at the damn top. And it was both years. It was no shit, like 98 degrees, 100% humidity the entire time. And it was
Oh,
it was heinous. It was nothing short of heinous. It was so hot. I mean, like you just
mm-mm.
it was disgusting. Like your glass are steaming up. You're like just standing. Like
I'm
it was
good, bro.
horrendous.
I'm good. I have no interest.
Yep.
Oklahoma sectional, I think 2019 when they did it in what was it? I can't remember the range they did it at. It was somewhere in Oklahoma, and it was so fucking hot that I started to have some mild heat stroke towards the end of it. I was like, oh shit.
Yep. Yeah. No, that's not fun. Part of my I always make sure that I hydrate my ass off when I'm going to matches. I tout along liquid IVs or Gatorades or body armors or whatever you're gonna roll with, but that's something you have to really make sure you write policy for yourself for. If you just leave it a chance, if you just say, "Oh, I'll just drink whenever I feel like it," you're gonna have an issue. You got to take care of yourself when you're out there.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll switch gears a little bit. I don't know how much longer you even want to be on this podcast, but how much longer you got in you?
Forever, man.
Oh shit! Don't say that. Me and Bill Doodle went 4 hours. We got cut off.
Oof.
We were just drunk as shit by the end of it. Um, we were peeing together. It got weird.
That sounds
Uh,
fun.
yeah, but what does your practice routine look like? Because that was another question we got.
Uh, Currently or historically?
Currently.
So currently I do live fire generally like 2 days a week. Volume is irrelevant. Just kind of depends on whether or not I'm accomplishing the stuff I want to do. Dry fire is, I mean, through the winter, it's aggressive, like basically daily. I always take an off season that's like a couple weeks long at least, and then through the rest of the winter, I'll do basically daily dry fire for until I get sick of it. But through the summer I do like probably 2 or 3 days a week dry fire, 2 days live fire. I try to make it so that I get the volume, as it were, is kind of varies like as I feel like it. That's one of the big policies I've written for myself pretty much since like around 2018 is I only train on a as I feel like it basis, right? Where I'm only going to do it if I'm like really juiced to do it. And if I'm not, unless I have a match like immediately coming up, I'm not going to force myself to do it, right? Because if I already don't feel like it, I'm probably not going to get anything out of it. And if I don't feel like it and I force myself to start and I still don't feel like it, then I'm definitely not going to get anything out of it, right? Because for me, like the hardest part, most people will probably echo, is getting your belt on, right? Like just getting off the couch, breaking yourself away from whatever you're doing and going to make the time to do it. If you can do that once you start, like usually if you've done any dry fire at all, you understand that it's beneficial to your training. And once you start doing it, it's actually pretty fun. But
Yep.
getting started is the hardest part, right? So I
Yeah.
don't make it a habit of like, I don't think about it like it's work or like I'm doing some kind of a grind. Like I do it when I enjoy it. And fortunately for me, that's pretty much every day. So,
Oh yeah, I like that. So yeah, wintertime your dry fire has to go way up because y'all are
because
snowed the hell in.
it's cold as hell. Yeah. It gets down to like, in the neighborhood of 20 degrees for 2 or 3 months at a time. So it's a
Hard
no-go for
pass.
outside training.
That's a hard pass.
Yep.
No indoor places you could go.
There is. So we'll go and we'll do, if any live fire we do in the winter, we'll do inside. Because my policy is I won't shoot outdoors. I won't do any outdoor training unless it's like at least above 35. Because believe it or not, you can actually get used to that. Like anything under that for me, I can't feel my hands and it's just kind of miserable.
Bro, if it's
But
35 degrees here, I'm not going outside. But not to,
you
definitely not to
can
shoot.
you can sort of get used to like around 40. Like you can kind of, you can do shooting and then you can kind of like go like warm your hands up or whatever. But yeah, so that's sort of my cutoff. And in the winter, we have an indoor range at our local club that's like 15 meters. So you can go and do some stuff. You can do like, doubles and basic drills like that and stuff where they don't have any restrictions on, and they don't have any flood lore rules about like holsters or rapid fire or anything like that. So we can do some cool stuff. But I don't do very
Yeah.
much live fire through the winter in general.
I'm very disappointed with the indoor range scene in Houston so far.
Well, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, because I was like, because it rains so much here, dude. And the private range that I have access to, when it rains for more than a day, like if it's back to back, couple days in a row, dude, it's a flood zone out there. You can't.
really
Yeah, you're not getting in the range. You're not training. You're standing this deep in water, right?
interesting. Yeah, I was at
So
Area 4 when it got destroyed by a tornado that one year.
yeah. I remember I was eating my pancakes at IHOP with the wife the
Yep,
night before I was supposed to leave, and I got a text from Moji. He was like, "Don't come, no
yep,
reason." I was
yep.
like, "What?"
Me and Kay went to the zoo. Went to the zoo in Houston that day. We showed up. We
Yeah,
went to the range. Like we got to see this. Like everyone's telling us it's destroyed. Like we got to go at least rubberneck at it. So we did, and then we went to the zoo, and it was a good old day.
yep, yep. Yeah, man. Weather out here is a little unpredictable, so I was looking for some indoor places and went to a few of them. And I was like, "Hey, is there any way I can train?" And they're like, "Yeah, you can have a bay." I'm like, "Okay, is there a way I can come from my holster?" And they were like, "Whoa, cowboy, not unless you're military or law enforcement." And
Oh my god.
I was like, "Listen, bro,
It's like the Ron Swanson meme format. I know more than you.
yeah, I know more than you. Okay."
Yeah.
I wanted to be like, "All right, let's shoot for it." You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing
Yep.
here?
If I
But
beat you, you lose your range access.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you beat me, I'll never come back. If I beat you, I get your range in the mornings.
Yep.
Fuck off.
Yep.
Because back in Midland, right, the weather was never bad, and I had it, but I had an indoor place, two indoor places, where the owners were cool enough to let me just kind of have access if I wanted it and do. I could just literally go in when they were closed and have the whole bays open if I
Yeah,
wanted to
that's
set up
awesome.
multiple targets.
That's super
But
awesome.
but here, they're not going to let me in early. They're not going to let me in late, and they're definitely not going to shut anything down because it's so populated out here. And
Yep.
coming from a holster, like all the ones I've been to, they're like, "You can't
Yeah.
come from a holster." I'm like, "Oh, you guys suck, the
Yeah, that's
big
pretty lame.
fat PP."
That's pretty lame.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used
So
to I shot for the SIG Academy for a long time, and they have they have a bunch of indoor ranges now, but at the time that I was going there all the time, they had two indoor ranges, one of which was like 20 by 25, and the other was like 25 by 50. And so there was almost nothing you couldn't do in there for through the whole winter through 2017 one time. They're like, yeah, just, come in after class is over, like make sure you shut all the lights and lock the gate when you leave. I'm like, yeah, absolutely, I'll do that. Show up at like, 6 or 7 o'clock and shoot till like 11 o'clock at night. It was pretty sweet.
Yeah, man, I'm trying to talk the dude who has the private range. I was like, man, if I, pay for it, let me put up a covered concreted bay.
Mm.
He was like, yeah, we could maybe do that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Next year, here we go.
that'd be pretty sweet.
Do a couple
Yeah.
classes, save the money, and
Yep.
toss it
Yeah.
back into the range.
Our range, we do all our training at our own place because we have a range on our property. We have like a 20 by 40, so it's pretty sweet. It's 2 or 3 minutes from via four-wheeler, but it don't help you none in the winter because it's pretty cold. We actually bought a construction trailer, like a site office trailer, and we put it on the bay, and it has functioning AC, functioning heat, but we don't have any power down there because it's too far from the place. So once we get a generator rigged up, that'll be a pretty sweet winter training fob, if you will.
Yeah, just shoot out of the trailer.
Yeah, no, that's where we were talking about putting like barn style doors on it and a big ramp and just wheel the doors open, blast some rounds out of it, shut them up, heat up. It'll be pretty rigged up once it finally gets settled, but just our lives have been very busy. Project hasn't totally gotten finished yet. Right now it's just a shed.
Yeah, I would absolutely love to have a range just right out the back gate.
It's pretty
That would
sweet,
be
man.
incredible.
It's not necessary, but it does help a lot.
It's always necessary. There's no such
Yeah.
thing as not necessary.
Yeah.
There's no such that. Would it be necessary for me to have 10 Camdexes in my garage? No. Do I
Do you
want
want
it?
them?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here? Everything's
Yeah.
necessary if you really want it. But so you got a nice little spread down there. How many acres you on?
It's we live on like 40.
Nice.
It's pretty sweet.
Nice.
We have an awesome location. We're no shit like 4 minutes from Walmart, but we have no neighbors that'll bother us at the same time. So it's pretty sweet.
That's awesome. Just so you know, if I shot around out my back gate, I'll be on the neighborhood Facebook page.
Yeah.
About
Neighborhood
30
watch.
seconds flat. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they don't play around here. Our neighborhood Facebook page is like a whole group of Karens on steroids, bro.
Well, of course, that's what those are for.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah.
Nuts. Kid was walking around. They've been saying like watch for snakes. We got alligators. They found an alligator in the pond the other day, and so a kid was walking around with a machete. Probably
Jeez.
in case he came around a snake.
He's looking for that snake.
People were like, "Call the police." I was
Yeah.
like, "You told him to watch out for snakes. The fuck you doing?" Where I grew up,
He's
when
trying
I
to
was
take
a
care of the
kid-
snake problem.
Yeah, when I was a kid growing up in the trailer park, a kid walking around with a machete was underprepared. Okay,
Yeah.
like
no
what are you
kidding.
doing? Yeah, gun or bust.
Yep. Oh,
But many things. What's up, dude? Oh yeah, he's got his own podcast. He's gonna show up late to mine. I see how it is, bro. I see how it is. Yeah. So, what do you think? What's your goal for? Obviously, your goal is carry optics, right? Carry
Yes.
optics title. But what's your long-term goal if you had one? That's a question I had. Is like, what's your 5-year, 10-year plan?
Well, I want to if I had to choose someone who I'm modeling like my business off of, it's closer to Ben. It's something between like Ben and what Shannon had going on before, right? So like deep into the future, I would love to be able to do the training thing in a place where I'm stable. I don't have to travel around all the time, and I could do it for comparable money to what I'm able to do it for traveling, right? But short term, it's popularize my name for the purposes of training as much as possible so that I can kind of design my travel schedule around, wherever people want to have me. Because it's a pretty sweet gig, man. I mean, especially if you can double it up with matches, get your match paid for, go make a little dough, kind of get the job done. And it's fun, man. I mean, I've learned more about shooting from being forced to start teaching than I have from anything else. I don't think I ever would have gotten as good as I am over the last 2 years if I hadn't started doing the training thing. I mean, you learn a ton by being forced to not only intellectualize what it is you know about shooting, being forced to then verbalize it to someone else. I mean, it requires a deeper level of understanding.
Big time. Big time. Once I started teaching youth shooting, and that like blew my mind up. And then once I started, once I started just doing some training with people, and this year I'm cranking up the training a little bit. Next year is going to go hard. Start training more and more people. Uh, Dude, I'm learning. Like once I really am sitting down and like thinking about like why do I do that thing, and
Hmm.
what makes like X person better, and what are they doing different? Because I'm a huge student of the sport, but you have to be a student of the sport on a whole different level when you're trying to educate people
Yes.
on the
Yeah.
sport.
Part of what I was doing, of course, when I started shooting, I was just getting into high school, and I graduated college last spring or so. And a huge part of what I was doing, especially when I was first starting my business, was making the effort of writing like one-page essays about whatever idea it is that I want to be able to rationalize to other people, right? So let's say I have, you know, the whole finding 100 thing is a perfect example. That's written. I have that document in my computer. It's like a 4-page document of literally everything about the drill when it comes to the procedure, what you're going to do, scoring wise, when to paste, all the technical aspects you would want if you wanted someone to actually do it, but also all of the theory that kind of ties into it. Everything is going to go wrong when someone's actually doing it in terms of their technique. Like anything you could want to know about it, essentially, I've verbalized that in a way that someone who's never heard of shooting before could read it and more or less know what it is that I'm talking about, right? So I think it's a good idea for shooters of almost any level to go through that same exercise. I was never good about keeping like a logbook or keeping personal notes when I was coming up in shooting. I never made it a habit of logging drills or logging data or anything like that. But I definitely have always I've always had more of a knack for writing and linguistics than I ever have for mathematics or science. So I've always thought about things in those terms. Like if I can learn something unique that I don't think anyone else has figured out, I'm going to try to make it a point to write it down in a way that literally anyone can understand it, right? So like that whole layers thing that I talked about on if you follow PSTG, the whole layers thing was something that I'm writing a piece on stage design, basically with the goal of making it like if I have someone who's never really shot any matches except their club match, what lessons can I impart with that person to make it so they can go and they can design good stages just by giving them all the principal aspects of what makes stages good and what things you need to know about shooting to be able to design good stages, right? And from that, I mean, I've developed like freaking like 6 or 7 other like full length essays and ideas that can sprout off into other sections of other books. So just being, I mean, I guess the moral of the story is taking the effort and time to rationalize and intellectualize what it is you think you know about shooting that's a unique take is something that I think is super important, not just for top shooters to do, but for almost everyone, right? Like if you have an idea or something that you understand that makes something click into place for you, that's something that someone else is going to agree with, and you don't just do it for the purpose of monetization. When you force yourself to sit down and think about it, and to the point that you can write it properly, you're going to understand it way deeper.
So what you're saying is we got a Mason Lane book on the way.
Yeah, yeah, a couple. I mean, I literally have three in progress. It's just a question of finishing one and not starting another.
Yeah, yeah. Kid just one track minding it.
Yeah, I have a hard time with that.
Yeah, I'm way too ADHD for that type of shit.
Yep,
I have to do 19 things at once or shit gets weird.
yep.
Um, yeah, man, that's pretty freaking dope. That's pretty dope. I haven't the practical shooting training group stuff I haven't deep dived too deep into. I'd like to. I just haven't. Probably would get a lot of benefit out of it.
Yeah, I'd recommend it to almost anyone. I mean, when you consider like there's more content on there than you could ever hope to go through. If you just go through essentially all the drills, like you go through the effort of saying, all right, there's probably 50 drills at least on there that incorporate almost any element of practical shooting you could possibly want to know. And if you go through the effort of going through all of those and understanding what the moral of the story is with all the drills, just that is like 3 years worth of work for your training. I mean,
It really is.
yeah, it's an awesome resource. I'd recommend it to almost anyone. And depending what level membership you get too, you can get for the uninitiated, right? You can get individualized feedback from like top level instructors from Ben and Wansik and Joel and them guys.
That's how I'm gonna get Ben to unblock me. I'm gonna get a member. I'm gonna get a membership and request him personally.
That's a good
Like,
idea.
give me some info. He can't. He can't block me if I'm paying him, right? Right? Is that how that
I
works?
don't know. I don't know if you ever hung out with him. He kind of does what he wants.
I've hardly spent any time with the guy. Yeah, I thought that would be funny. Now I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna get a membership, and then I'm gonna be like, "Can you unblock me now, please?" We both hate the same people.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'd be hilarious. So you got any classes scheduled on
No.
this? Do you have
No,
how
dude,
does
literally ammo BF'd my whole travel schedule. So if you want to get me in your area, I do not have a class scheduled there. I can promise you that. So if you want a class in your area, talk to someone in your area who's just set up classes before, or if you're connected to clubs in a way that you can make that happen, send me a message and we'll get it cooking because I don't have anything scheduled at all right now.
this guy? I'll bring you to Katie.
Just do it.
It'll be easy. You and the wife can come down. You stay in one. Well, this is the guest suite, but I got two other rooms if you want it.
Sure
But
thing.
you stay here. We're 5 minutes from the range. I guarantee. Keto was just out here the other day.
Cool.
So was Charlie Perez. Charlie Perez was out here like a month ago, I want to say. I showed up to the local match. Listen to this shit. I show up to the local match, pulling in, and I'm like there early to walk stages, and I'm like, is that fucking no? Because he always wears the same khaki hat, and the same red jersey, and I'm like, and he's 19 foot tall. It's kind of hard
Yep.
to miss Charlie Perez. And I'm like a mile away. Not really. I'm probably half a mile. But I'm like, is that fucking... No. Somebody's just dressed like I'm pulling. I'm like, holy shit, it is. So I'm like, Charlie, what are you doing here? He's like, what are you doing here? You live in Midland. I'm like, I live here now. He's like, oh, fuck. He's like, I want to save money on a hotel. I was like, yeah,
Yep.
sorry, buddy.
Yep.
But yeah, we got a lot of shooters out here that surprisingly the ammo shortage has not hit them nearly as hard as everyone else, it seems. Whether they're just not shooting as much as they should be, or they some rich people.
God bless Texas, man.
Yeah, God bless Texas, baby. People stockpile here. I went to a guy's house the other day. We're renovating his whole house. Went to his house the other day. Really hard not to just commit a burglary. Walked into his garage, bro. He had shelves. I'm talking floor, ceiling, left, right, in a 4-car garage. The guy had to have had 500,000 primers on the shelf.
That's pretty legit, man.
I was looking at it and I was like, hear me out, bro. I'll do your floors for free. I'll give you half off on the countertops. Give daddy some primers. He was like, nope. I was like, Cameron.
I know what I got.
Bro.
No low balls.
Yeah, no low balls. Free home renovation or bust.
Someone asked, can classes be paid for with primers? Yes, absolutely. If you provide me a commensurate amount of primers proportional to what they're going for in the reasonable, not aftermarket, I will absolutely accept primers in stake of money.
That's genius. That's the way to do it.
$60 1,000, man. You pay for $60 1,000 worth of primers, I'll absolutely make that happen because that's worth it to me right now. I'm not tremendously bad off for primers, but I'll be in trouble next year if I don't cop some more. So I would totally take you up on that.
That's where I'm at. I've got enough to be comfortable this year. Next year will be sketchy.
Yep.
It will be sketchy. Yeah, that's genius. Somebody said margaritas go a long way with you and the wife.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we love Mexican. We love margaritas.
Well, dude, you're coming to Houston. You know what that means.
Let's go.
The best Mexican food and the best margaritas.
That's good, man.
We'll get shit-housed and fat. But perfect, man. Well, we're coming up on, hour and 20 minutes. So now we'll get to the fun stuff. So we'll go nationals. Pick your nationals winners, right? But all we have left is high cap.
We'll do 2021 low caps too. Why not?
Let's do that too. There we go. All right, so let's start with high cap this year. So carry optics, obviously yourself, right? It would be your pick.
Of course, yeah.
So we'll opt out carry optics.
Hmm.
Limited, you are the defending champion, so obviously it'd be hard for you to not say you.
Yeah,
Um,
you're right.
so let's go PCC.
Man, I don't know. I don't think anyone's getting close to Max, are they? I mean, I don't pay too much attention to that, but I don't think anyone is. He seems to be in a league of his own. Like no one else is getting within 3% of the guy. So Max.
Yeah, Two Gun Nationals. I was like, buddy of mine was there shooting, and he's like, bro, I think Freilich or Scott Green or some of them are going to take it. Max just doesn't look like. And I was like, I even said to him, I was like, bro, Max is going to win by X amount. He'll no matter what, he'll win. And he was like, nah, bro, it ain't gonna happen. I'm here, you're there. You don't understand. I'm watching it. I was like, watch. And then sure enough, he was like, bro, you're right. He won. I was like, told you.
Max and I are like on good terms and stuff, but I don't know anything about what he does for training. But what I do think that I know about him is he's a USPSA guy first. And if there's something I know about USPSA guys, is they'll thrash anyone at any other sport that there's any crossover with whatsoever.
Yep. Yep. It's hard. It's very hard to a really, really good USPSA guy and a really, really good three gunner in a crossover type scenario. I'm going to go with the
Yeah, no.
USPSA guy.
10 times out of 10. Yeah.
Yep. All right, let's go open.
Uh, Frankly, I don't think there's anyone. It's not surprising to me that Christian continues to win matches because I don't think there's anyone else who's really touching him in open. I mean, like he's not having to push to continue to win. So him. Come on, man. The dude's fucking good.
No, I'm just messing with you. Yeah. Now that World Shoot's canceled, I'm not going to be surprised if old Griffel makes his way down here.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe. I think Eric will give him one chance. He will shoot against him once, and that'll probably be it. So I don't think he's afraid of shooting against him at his best. I think if he gives him another year, they'll make him an even more worthy adversary for him.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he needs to come to the U.S. and try his luck out now.
Yeah.
Now, granted, Eric is Eric, right? And I don't think a lot of people have seen Eric at his best. I think Eric
Well, he
shoots.
doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't have to do his best to dominate anybody. So
Yeah, so I think if anyone's going to pull that, make Eric find that 100, it's going to be Christian.
yeah,
He's gonna need all 100 because that kid's a beast. Now, granted,
I've
Eric is a freak, but
I've told a lot of people this before. If Eric wins by 3%, it's because he only wanted to win by that much.
yep, absolutely. I had a guy on last week, and after talking with him before and after the podcast,
Yep.
that guy changed the way that I think about shooting.
Yeah, he does stuff that's different than literally everyone else. And I think in a lot of cases he couldn't make anyone else do what he does without doing the same amount of work that he does. So whether or not it's necessarily the best or most efficient system for people in average scenarios is kind of debatable, but there's no questioning he's better than anyone else on the planet right now by miles. That's just kind of
Yeah,
how it is.
yeah. So, do you think JJ has a legitimate shot?
At open?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean he's an excellent shooter. I mean he seems to always find a way to get effed at nationals. So if he could, I mean he's clearly done it before. Like he won two nationals in the same year. Like the talent is absolutely there. So he's always
Yeah,
going to be in the picture.
yeah, yeah. I really, really was like, kind of trying to play the kind of devil's advocate on both sides. Like, I would love to see JJ or KC or someone like that win a national title. I would also like to see Siler three-peat. More than anything, I would love for me to come out of the woodwork and pull a Mason Lane and everybody go, "What the fuck just happened?"
Yep.
but we'll
It's
see.
Shark Week. Yeah.
It's Shark Week.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think he will continue to dominate until someone else comes up and shakes up the tree. And I mean, if like one of the guys you just mentioned beats him, it's like, all right, yeah, like they're all fantastic too. But I think if the next person who is going to consistently beat him or consistently perform on the level he's at will be someone whose name you probably don't even recognize yet. Trevor Connor.
exactly. I don't know, man. I'm only 3 years in, bro. Doing a lot of learning.
Let's
Doing a lot of
go.
learning. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm finding it more and more every day. I think I'll get there. Yeah. Open is a bitch though.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't envy y'all at all.
Shit breaks all the time. Ammo
Yep.
is very fucking frustrating. There's a lot of parts of open I really, really like, and there's a lot of parts of open I could do without. And we're back. You there?
Yep.
Yeah. I was saying
Yeah.
I love a lot of parts of open. I hate a lot of parts of open. But
Yeah,
um
man. No, the shit breaking all the time and the having to load scary ammo and all that nonsense. I don't envy y'all at all. I like shooting guns at work.
yeah, yeah. Ammo's been the big problem for me.
Yep.
Ammo's been a little sketchy, but we're getting it figured out. We're getting it
Yep.
figured out fast. But yeah, so like I said, open. I just have a hard time seeing anybody be Christian right now. Kids,
No,
kids on, kids on fire, dude.
no, he's got something figured out that I don't if he's holding back or what, but he's got something figured out. Like I'm assuming through just years of doing athletics that he's I don't really picture anyone getting close to him anytime soon. And if someone beats him, it's not going to be like, oh my God, Christian got spanked. It's more like, yeah, like that. They both shot great matches, and he got edged.
Yep,
He's going to be, maybe not dominant. He's not going to maybe he won't win every match he shoots for the next 15 years, but he'll be right there for a while. I think for as long as he chooses to be.
yep. I agree. Until he loses interest. He's still young.
Until he finds other
Uh,
shit he'd rather do more.
yeah, yeah. He's still young. He hasn't even entered the professional world yet. And no matter how good you are at this sport, you're not going to make a killing at it. Like
Yeah,
the
it's
the
absolutely
highest
true. It's
the
true,
highest
and
paid guys don't make a
there's been
fraction of what he could make if he went into
there's
the
people who
professional
are
world.
physically viable skills wise, right? There's probably 100 people.
Oh no, having Vietnam flashbacks. Here we go again. Except he's that guy. He's got that New Hampshire Wi-Fi. His isn't. His isn't French Wi-Fi. We'll see if he comes back. Can y'all hear me still? Somebody comment if y'all can still hear me. Am I still coming in? Nope, we lost him. We lost him. Can y'all still hear me pretty good? Everybody still in this one? Nobody's answering me. I'm wondering if it's me. Yeah, I'm good. All right, cool. Yeah, I just sent him another request. He'll be back. But in the meantime, Mike, I hear you, gay boy. Hey, man, it's Pride Week. No gay remarks. Remember? I want to get me too'd off my platform. He should have gone in his car to get good internet. Yeah, right? Yeah, Jay was sitting in a car for 2 hours when we did ours. That's a trooper right there. But in the meantime, guys, while we're waiting on him, uh, some other exciting stuff. So, Elm Tree Training Group is live. So, if you're interested in training with me or any of the other instructors, go to elmtreetraininggroup.com and you can book stuff there. Also, merch is happening. Just got the proofs the other day. There will be some awesome shirts. Um, you will like them. Some are going to be just basic Bangin' Brass podcast swag, Bangin' Brass branded stuff. There will be some golf carts on a few of them, stuff like that. So stay tuned for that stuff. Oh, he's going to use his wife's phone. Here we go. Is this going to work better?
Baby.
Hey-o. Did your phone die?
Everyone follow at KBennett96. Let me live in the podcast.
Hold on, hold on. Hold on. It's still a little fuzzy. It's still a little fuzzy.
Oh, I'm not on the Wi-Fi. That's fine.
We're gonna figure this out.
Did Bill Tuda touch each phone with his PCC mag? Yes, in fact, he did. Uh, Mike said he's in the middle of the mountains in Utah, has no service, and somehow this shit is streaming fresh. Yeah, if y'all remember, Bill Duda's PCC mag was a giant phallic object. Did we got you back?
Yeah.
Boom! There we go. Shout out to the old lady for figuring that out. Got you back on spot.
She done squared me away.
Yeah, she got you figured out. Did your phone die? What happened there?
Yeah, my phone died. It was literally at like 70%. It worked its way all the way down. Like Matt said, my phone is a lemon. So
How old is your phone, bro?
I have an iPhone 8.
Bro, they're on like iPhone 69 now.
Yep. At
You need
least
to
that
figure
many.
You need to figure it out. Y'all don't get free upgrades up there or what?
I don't know. I actually like the phone I have, except for the fact that it's old and it's shitty and doesn't work usually. But
Okay, well, everybody go follow Mason's wife. What's your wife's Instagram handle?
at KBennett96.
Boom. She just saved the Bangin' Brass podcast. So
That's right.
everybody go follow her because she just made this work again. I thought I was
That's
just
right.
going to be rolling solo. So let's pick back up where we left off. Yeah, just give her back her checkmate.
She's got it. I haven't touched it since. I promise.
There you go. There you go. All right, so let's pick up where we left off. So, yeah, I don't see Christian losing for quite a while.
No.
Until I beat him, which will happen.
Of course, right. Yep.
So let's go into low cap next year. So who do you see for single stack next year? I mean, Robbie, this is back to back for old Latham here.
I mean, I don't know. I don't really picture that going. So the interesting part of this conversation to me is not just who's going to win, right? So the way I rationalize my own shooting is the most I can hope to do is be prepared and be in a life position where I can at least be a viable candidate to win, right? Like the way Ben would describe that is your training is like buying a ticket to go to the Nationals. And the ticket is it's like playing bingo. Maybe you'll win it, maybe you won't. If you go and you shoot well for you against guys that are commensurate in skill level, you'll land really close to them. And for most people, that means over the course of your career, if you're involved for 10 years or so, you'll probably win a couple if you're really good and your skills are there. So the top 3 or so, the guys that are consistently 97+%, those guys are all relatively interchangeable. And there's just certainly differences in individuals as far as their mental game, whether or not they got shit ironed out. Obviously Christian's got some shit ironed out that maybe he doesn't even fully understand, but is clearly working extremely well.
Yeah.
But it's hard to predict necessarily who's going to win. To say that there's a meaningful difference in who's going to win between Robbie or Elias or Mike or any of those guys, they're all contenders. They're all viable options. I think either Mike or Elias or Rob are all reasonable people to choose for that one. And it's the same exact thing with prod, right? You look at the top 4 or 5 in prod, and all those guys could easily win any match. So
That was a tight race. That race was taut.
yeah, it
I was
absolutely
there,
was.
and I was like, oh.
Yep. Yeah, it was pretty neck and neck for quite a while.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. I watched a lot of it.
Yep.
Because I didn't shoot the same schedule as the super squads, so I got to slip in and out and go watch what was going on. So I went from area to area, sometimes in a golf cart, sometimes not, to watch what was going on. So it was pretty cool. But that was a taut race. Some say came down to a popper.
It did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you are right, but I'm not going to let you get out of it. Give me a pick. Could be your favorite person.
For single stack, I'll take
single
Rob.
stack.
Rob is doing extremely well. I mean, he's another candidate where he will continue to be dominant, obviously, until he decides not to be anymore. I
have a feeling until
he's not afraid of losing, right? I have absolute reverence for him and what he's done in his career, but I put he and I in the same camp in the sense that I'm not afraid to go shoot and lose any match, right? Any match I go and shoot is not going to be the first or last that I win or lose, and he feels the exact same way. So he will continue to be in the picture until he decides he doesn't want to be anymore.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree. I have a feeling that they'll be wheeling his ass out of nursing homes in 2038 for him to go shoot nationals.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
And he'll
Yeah.
probably still be in the top 20.
Yep. Get
He'll
him one of
be,
those fast ass gopher carts.
yeah, dude.
He'll tool some people up.
Yeah, yeah, one of those, the tracked wheelchairs. You know what
Or
I
even
mean?
just like a shitty little mobility scooter like you get at Walmart. He probably still tool people up.
He wouldn't be last, I can tell you that.
No, certainly not.
You imagine him figuring out how to steer that thing with both hands off shooting?
I bet he could make top 16.
I bet he could. I bet he could. It'd be pretty beast. All right, so let's go limited 10.
Casey Reed.
Casey Reed, solid choice. Solid choice. Uh I don't know what's going to happen next year, but I'm going to try to give us another crack at limited 10.
So yeah, I mean, like you're assuming that the body of people that are good, like Christian's obviously an anomaly. Like he's going way out of his lane to go shoot that match. Like, and if
Yeah.
he's obviously like dominant enough, like in a way more competitive division, that if he goes and shoots one like that, it's not really surprising he's going to win it at all. But if you consider all the guys that shoot like production and limited and single stack that are all like reasonable, it will be reasonable for them to go shoot that match. Like Casey is one of the best ones as far as flexibility goes, and he's like stone cold as far as his game. So
Yeah, Casey Reed is a killer, dude. He's a straight up assassin. Dude's awesome. Very laid back, very chill, hell of a shooter.
Mhm.
Yeah, limited 10 is going to be fun. So Casey Reed's a solid pick. I dig that pick. I don't know if I'm shooting it next year, so I'm not going to go with myself because I don't know. But
Boneyard.
Boneyard, hashtag
Hashtag
Boneyard.
Boneyard.
What does that mean?
Well, anytime you finish a beverage, you're obligated to crush it and scream Boneyard extremely loudly, and then skyhook it into the Boneyard.
Does it have to be a beer?
It could be any beverage, but it's probably a lot cooler if it was beer.
I have a Red Bull.
Let's go.
Boneyard! I hope that didn't get all over the ceiling. I just bought this house.
It's sugar-free. It's fine.
Who gives a shit? Yeah, so I don't know what's going to happen with limited 10, but Casey Reed's a solid pick. Jeremy Reed, is he shooting? Did he shoot limited 10 this year, or did he shoot production? Or
I thought he shot
stack?
stack. Yeah, he shot stack.
I almost wish they got back to splitting those up.
Yep.
To where they had, like, you could shoot multiple low cap divisions. You didn't have to just pick one out of the whatever. But I get why they lump them all together.
Yeah, I mean, if it was me, if I had my druthers, I would have them do just one handgun nationals altogether. If you want to segregate like revolver and single stack like they used to, then whatever. But like the last time they did that was 2014, and it was the best nationals since 2014. It was a 28 stage match in Utah that was absolutely fantastic. I mean, it was by all accounts, in every respect, the best nationals that has happened since then.
2014. Who was Prez?
Strader. It was Strader's last run, I think.
Imagine that.
Old Phillip.
Imagine that.
Bananas.
Yeah, it's bananas. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. One big nationals, dude. That's how it should be, I feel.
It makes it so the people, I mean, like, it's cool when they do totally standalone matches. Like, I liked it when they do production as its own match, or when they do, like just limited and open together and that's it, right? But when they do like two totally different nationals, and, it's kind of random who's going to show up and shoot what division. And like, we obviously have a bunch of dead weight as far as divisions go anyway. So if you neck some of those down by putting them all like with other divisions that mean something, like, then it's going to be a more interesting competition, at least in my opinion.
Yeah. Hear me out.
Yeah, sure.
10 big, large match, or 8 area matches. We already have 8 area matches. Race for the cup, baby.
So what do you, it's like a point cumulative championship, or what?
Mm-hmm. Bigger, better, awesomer. Stream all 8. Put it behind a paywall. The proper way.
The obvious part I don't like about that is some area matches suck, right? Like, not all of them are cool.
That's where this will have to get interesting.
Yeah, and the other part is I'm like then as someone who's like a top performer, I'm obligated to go shoot nine matches where maybe I don't want to.
Well, here's the thing, right? Uh, would you go shoot that if it had a big ass cash prize attached to the end of it?
I mean, yeah, but really big cash prizes have a predilection to gay up a lot of things too. So I don't know.
If they're done properly, they don't. I got some ideas.
All right, well,
We'll
fair
see what
enough.
happens. We'll see what happens. I got some ideas cooking. We'll see what happens here. Um, but all right, so production nationals next year. I like it. I like it. Um, what other revolver? Does anybody even shoot that anymore?
Poji messes those fools up every time he shoots
Yeah,
it.
like Pogue at this point, like it should be called Pogie Division. It's like back when Jerry was shooting it regularly. Like nobody's gonna beat him.
Yeah, I honestly I feel bad for those guys because like they the top performers put in like a lot of work to be really good at it, and then just like it's totally neglected by the sport in general. Like it's not like we're not measuring it properly. Like the sport is designed well to measure that division, but it's just nobody gives a shit. Like it's such a small subsection of people that it's you know they don't have anyone to compete against except each other.
Yeah, that's where if they made Revolver Nationals standalone and made it a little more enticing for some dudes like you to go shoot it.
Yeah, but
Um,
you're just blowing air into a dead animal. you know,
exactly. At that
you know,
point, it's just
you're
yeah, it's
just
like you're
using a leaf
giving
blower
a
to blow up a horse.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
nonsense.
You're giving mouth to mouth to a dead horse.
Yep.
Like, what are we doing here? Just let it die.
Yeah, I feel bad for
Let
those
it
guys
die.
because in all honesty, it's like it's actually like a pretty neat and interesting skill to be really good at that. But it's just no one gives a shit anymore.
Yeah, well, they still have the International Revolver Association, Federation, whatever the hell it is, right?
I don't know much about that, but yeah, that definitely is a thing.
Yeah, so let them deal with it.
Yeah.
What's the average? What's the average age of competitor in Revolver anyway?
I don't know, like I think like a buck 10.
Yeah, geriatric. But yeah, I think that should die. So, are there any more low cap divisions? I don't think so. I
No.
don't do a lot of low cap, man. I did limited 10 on a whim.
Yeah, it's not that cool. I mean, I
Yeah,
did it for a long time. When I started shooting, production was the division to be in. Like, if anywhere you went in the country, there was a pile of heat to be found in production. Now that's not really the case anymore. It's really dying pretty quickly by design.
I'm kind of surprised. My first year in the sport, everywhere you went, heat was everywhere.
Yeah.
Like when I was shooting limited, like it seemed like every division I looked in, there were some like three or four or five really good guys in every division at
Hmm.
every major match I went to. Now, I don't know if it's because of the ammo situation or because of COVID or what have you. Dude, I was looking through some of the matches that I'm shooting. It's not a whole lot.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot of heat at
Yeah.
all.
It definitely for one thing the COVID thing hasn't helped at all. Like you described, there's a subculture of people that no matter how bad the ammo situation is, they'll still be involved basically until they're down to their last primer. But that's
Yep.
not the majority at all. So that's definitely
No.
constitutes the people that are top performers that are the heat as it were. But even those guys, obviously, like in my situation, I have 30,000. Me and Kay have 30,000 primers on hand, and that's it. Like that'll get us through this year handily. But for next year, that'll be a problem. And if things don't
That'll be
improve,
questionable.
I don't know what's going to happen.
Yep.
So yeah, that situation's not good. And the other thing is, I think a lot of the talent is condensing towards the faster divisions. Like all of the talent is headed towards given divisions, especially carry optics, and it seems PCC and open. Right? Like
Yep.
the sexy divisions are getting a lot more participation now than ever before.
They really are.
I
Which
think
is
that's
cool.
mostly, yeah. I mean, it's cool in the sense that when you put more people in the same division, you're getting to compete against more people at a time. And which, of course, that was the part that I was attracted to production for. Is like I want to go shoot against the best people I possibly can to try to get better. But so it's cool for that reason. But it's kind of lame for the sense that all those other divisions become irrelevant. But there's always creative destruction to any new changes that come along. You can't be afraid to try to prop things up. You can't resist change. You just got to, embrace it. So
Yeah,
stop
for
messing
sure.
around with the divisions we have, but just let them do what they're going to do.
Yep. Somebody asked, do you pick Christian to win any division he shoots?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Like he did pretty damn good in Open, and like he was naturally going to win limited 10 just because he's incredibly talented.
He got lucky that my mags weren't working, bro. Let's be honest.
That's definitely what happened. Yeah. I don't know. It's a hard question. Like he beat the brakes off all them guys at Area 6 in limited, but that was a really fast paced match too. So it's not a super fair shake to really know. Like it's not the same as shooting a whole nationals, but at the same time, he's not the kind of guy that struggles to keep it together for a bunch of stages in a row. Like that's not really his style.
No.
It's hard to say. Like I'm never going to concede that I think anyone will beat me in any division, just because like that's not how I operate. But I would like to compete against him in limited, because that seems like the most reasonable middle ground where the two of us could meet to shoot together, or carry optics, either way.
Yeah.
But really, I would like to go shoot an Open against him.
Yeah. I'm of the mindset that I feel in my head that I can beat anyone, but I don't ever expect myself to never lose. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Losing is part of life, right? You're going to lose. It's how do you get over it and make it a learning experience. But I truly believe I can beat anybody. But I think Christian has something figured out, like you said. I think if he shoots, if he shoots against a guy like you or a guy like Max or a guy like Eric, and y'all, like a guy like you or a guy like Max in carry optics or in production or in limited, right?
What?
I think y'all have a really good shot of giving him the business if anyone's going to do it.
I think like if you look at Christian's still so early in his career, right? Like you can't really compare him to anyone else because you don't know what he's going to do. Like he could walk away tomorrow and decide he doesn't want to do it anymore.
Exactly.
Or he could win for another 10 years straight, right?
Yep.
But if he continues to win another 10 titles in Open, for example, right, then he's the same as Max or Casey or Ben or anyone like that who, by all accounts, is absolutely dominant at what they do. But even they are nothing like someone like Eric, right, where he will literally F up anybody he shoots against in any division, right?
Dude, he told me he was on like a 250-plus match win streak, bro.
He hasn't lost a match in IPSC since 1999.
What
like that?
Fuck?
I was 2.
Yeah, bro. I was 6.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here?
He's a monster.
From the time you were barely born, he hasn't lost a match in IPSC. Like, that's a nutty thing to even say.
Yep.
So that level of dominance is totally different, right? Which, I mean, that comes from, he's been shooting forever.
Someone said, "Will shaving my head make me Max Michelle fast?" And I don't know, but you should definitely try it.
You should. Somebody said they hope Ben gets back to shooting nationals. Yeah, when is he ever going to shoot USPSA again? I think I know when personally, but
yeah, it's not just about he's not doing it to protest. I think he's really just sick of the officiating being what it is. So I'm sure if it ever goes back to being truly what it was, like around the mid 2000s, I'm sure he'll get back to doing it. But I talked to him. I got to talk to him about it at the PSTG summit a little bit. And I'm like, why? When are you going to come back, dude? Like, we all want to shoot against you. Why? Like, when are you coming back? And he's like, when it's not like this anymore. Like, he is sick to death of seeing the officiating just not be what he wants it to be. And I get it. I mean, I can see why, if you're in his position, why you would feel that way about it. But I'm not yet. Like, it frustrates me too. But I'm still obviously going to continue to be involved because I'm not in the same position he is in my career.
Yeah. I mean, he's won. God.
He doesn't have anything left to prove. I mean, he has nothing left to prove
whatsoever.
So.
Somebody said to ask you about when Eric walked off a stage, the extra shot.
The extra shot. That's Matt. So
what happened?
At the Extreme Euro in 2019, which is an awesome match, by the way. If anyone has the
is that the one in the Czech Republic?
Yeah, it's a fantastic match.
Dude, I want to go so bad.
It's a very good match. But there was a stage. Eric was shooting production, so it was the top several guys was like the guys in the CZ team and Eric and including Lou Bija and I can't remember who else. But anyway, it's a bunch of talent in Open. at this point, it's on day 3, so it's like 25 stages into the match. Eric is leading by a wide enough margin that he can mathematically he can almost not shoot the rest of the stages and still win, right? So he's tooling up everybody, including Lubija and I. And so we go to the stage where it's like it's shaped like a V. Like you start in like the front corner, like the front corner up here. You come around like the back, like turn around a wall, and there's 2 low targets, a pendulum target with I think just 1 target on it, and then you're off. And so there's a discussion briefly about Eric saying he thought that he could get away with doing 2 shots on 1 pass. And this thing was like, if it's hard to quantify what that looks like to people just listening, but for reference, you probably had to put down on it, like you had to put around on it right as the A zone became exposed and lay down probably a 15 split on it on like a 25-yard pendulum target, swinging pendulum to make the target actually happen. So like just joking around, Eric's like, yeah, I think I might do it. You know, it's definitely a risk. It probably works. It will probably work out about 40% of the time. Yada yada yada. And I'm like, just do it. Like, what are you afraid of? Just do it. Like, you're already like you could literally not shoot the stage and you're still going to beat all of us. Like, why don't you just do it? He's like, oh yeah, why not? I'll try it. And so he squirts down some stuff in like the front left corner, comes around, like he comes to this low target. It is literally the fastest 2 rounds I've ever heard come out of a handgun. And there's like these 2 low targets, like a typewriter across him. Comes up to the swinger, like shoots another, like 2 shots that sound like they're 1 shot, like probably like a freaking 11 split. And then like throws the gun back down, picks up a shot here or something, goes back up and shoots another shot at the swinger. So it's 2 passes to the swinger, the normal amount of passes for literally all the humans that were shooting the match. And then he goes over and finishes the stage and comes back. And he's like all like, oh man, like shaking his head, like being all annoyed. And he goes, it would have been great if it weren't for the extra pass. I'm like, the extra pass? I mean, do you mean the second pass? Like everyone else is taking like 4 passes on that thing, just trying to make sure they could call him on Brown. And this dude's beating himself up over an extra pass on a 15 split on a 20-yard pendulum swinger. I mean, the dude, yeah, he's unlike anyone else, and he's a pretty incredible shooter to watch. But it was a really funny situation for sure. The way that he was just ragging on himself about the extra pass.
Yeah. He's gonna. Yeah, that guy's a freak, man. So next time he comes to the U.S., I'm gonna try to set up. A class here.
That would be awesome.
But I'm gonna try to keep it to like high level dudes.
Yeah.
Right. Get to go train with Eric. Like
that'd be sweet.
Guys who are really like, guys who want to beat Eric type guys, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's everyone.
Yeah, you know what I mean, though, right? Guys like you, people of that nature that would love to take the class with Eric. Yeah, I don't know if you have any interest, but
I'd totally do that.
Yeah, but let's make it like bang out for like 3 days straight, 2,000 rounds a day type madness shit.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Yeah, keep it to a small class, like 6 guys. It'd be dope. Probably cost an arm and a leg, but fuck it.
Who cares? There's no way he's here for just that, so.
It's just money.
Yep.
Make more of it. Yeah, that's a neat story, man. So how cool was that match, the Extreme Euro?
It's pretty tight. So it's 30 stages. You shoot 10 stages a day, half-day format. So you get there at like, I don't know, like 8 or 9 or something like that, and you're done by 12, shoot 10 stages. So it's the efficiency of it is pretty incredible. The production value is absolutely incredible. The way they run it is they pre-score almost every stage is set so at least to some degree you can pre-score as much crap as possible. So they'll score targets like as you're still shooting. So by the time like you make it, like you turn around and walk back up range, like the scoring is done. Like it's run like clockwork, and they usually only have 2 or 3 ROs total per stage. And they'll set that up. They do, of course, in IPSC, they have limits on how many long courses they can have and stuff. So it's predominantly short and medium courses in the match. And they'll do have a really big bay, like a 20 by probably 100-yard bay. And they'll put like a short course kind of in the back of it, like in the uprange portion, and another like slightly more elaborate or larger one in the front. And they'll do you'll shoot one stage, you go hot right up to the front, they score the whole thing, it's all set and done by the time you're going up and you're shooting the second stage, and then you walk off. And the culture in IPSC is like you're not obligated to help tape or anything. Like, they have people taking care of that. So you get your crap, you sign your score sheet, you grab your shit, and you go over to the next bay. Like, hey, thanks guys, later, and you go over watch the next squad shoot. So like, you spend 90% of the time sitting on your ass, and then you still get to shoot 10 stages in a half day.
That's insane, dude.
And the production value as far as the stages go is unlike anything else too. I mean, like, there's no expense spared. There's no economy of resources when it comes to how they erect stages. Like, they'll use as many walls as they have to get the job done, like, to build what is like a 30-second freaking 14-round stage. Like, they don't care. It's pretty incredible. And we also Matt also says, and we got meatballs at awards. So
yeah, but we got meatballs. Not everybody got meatballs, but we got meatballs.
Yep.
How much was that match? Like, just the match?
I think it's 300. I think it's 300 euros. So it's like
340 something.
Yeah, it's not expensive. It's not cost prohibitive at all. The hardest part is getting there. And once you're there, it's like being in Canada. Like, the food and the lodging and everything is relatively cheap. Like, the beer there is literally cheaper than water. Like, you roll up to like a cafe in the town where you stay in there, and it's literally like you can get like a bowl of salad like the size of your head, a big ass steak, and a pitcher of beer for like $12 fucking bucks. Like, it's crazy.
So what you're saying is we're going to Europe next year if it's open.
Yeah, no, we registered for 2020, and we got pushed off till this year, and then they're actually intending to run it this year, but we had to back out because flights and everything were just getting to be really, really expensive, and the COVID nonsense was a little more than we cared to contend with. So we'll be going again next year.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to try to go.
Yeah, it's
cool.
pretty.
When is it normally?
June. Yeah, I think the weekend of the 21st of June.
21st of June. Done.
Like the middle weekend or whatever. Yeah, it's an amazing match. I mean, I've
do you
gone
sign
twice
up for
now.
that?
It's on their website. It's hosted on the Extreme Group website.
Okay.
If you just Google search Extreme Euro Open, you'll find it.
Do you have to freaking wire them the money? Like, yeah.
That part's a bit annoying. Like obviously
but...
it's irritating, like, the logistics you have to do to travel internationally, no matter what. But like, that part's like kind of cumbersome. Getting guns into the country is pretty much no big deal. Like, your invitation to compete is more or less your permit. And then I don't know if you ever travel with guns internationally, but you got to get paperwork to get your guns back into the country that basically demonstrate that they belong to you before you leave. So once you do that stuff, it's pretty much no big deal.
Yeah, I'd want to talk to you about that after this, like, a little bit later, because I want to definitely do that. How do you do ammo? Y'all just buy it there? Y'all fly it or what?
Bring it with you. Same way you go everywhere else. When they ask you how much ammo you have, you say none.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Yep,
it's a good point. Yeah,
as long as you declare it on your, they'll make you sign like, your check, like, permit has like all your serial numbers and crap on it and the approximate amount of ammo you're bringing on it. And as long as what they see when they bust open your case reflects what's put on the paperwork, you won't have any issue.
Okay, so they don't do the whole 11-pound limit bullshit?
No, dude, that's the airlines. The Czech government does not give a shit about that. Actually, the only thing that was actually slightly weird was last time I shot, I brought the SIG Match Lead ammo, which is loaded with their V-Crowns, which are more or less HSTs. And evidently, hollow point rounds are illegal in the Czech country. And I didn't realize that. Like I shot, I think, the second or third stage, and the RO grabbed my mag, and he like went up one side of me and down the other. Like, hey, you can't have these in the country. Like, this is illegal, and this, that, and the other thing. And he brought my magazine with the ammo in it over to Chrono. And like, they measured the depth of my hollow points, and they said, I think, Matt says 4 millimeters. They said you're not allowed to have hollow points with a cup depth more than 4 millimeters. And they said they measured it, and it was like mine were like 3.8 or something like that, 3.8 millimeters deep. Like, they had some kind of a tool to do it. I'm like,
Jesus.
Okay, sounds good. Like, this is the only ammo I have, so I hope this is fine.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Can you buy ammo there?
Yeah, they have ammo for sale. I'm sure shooting open would be a bit cumbersome, but I bought ammo both times I've gone.
Yeah, I wonder if they have 9 major.
No, I don't know. Maybe.
I'll probably have to get it shipped there way ahead of time.
Yeah, I don't think that's too big of a deal from what I understand. But yeah, it's a super awesome match.
Easy details.
Yep.
Yeah, I really, really want to do an international match so bad. I was going to do Canadian nationals, but I'm not going to Canada right now. I'll tell you that right now. Those guys
No,
are.
man, they got
Remember all that jibber jabber they were talking whenever Trump was in office about how America sucks and all, yeah. How y'all doing up there, guys? How you doing up
about
there, eh?
yeah, about that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's impressive
Jesus.
how little
But
power can go to someone's head.
yeah, I really, really want to shoot some international matches. I thought about the Aruba one this year, but just doesn't make sense with the COVID stuff. Possible
Yep.
quarantine. They were like, it's not guaranteed, but possible quarantine. No,
No, I'm good on that personally.
no interest. But well, man, we've been going for 2 hours now. So before we leave, I want your Mount Rushmore of shooting.
So how about we got, of course, Rob, of course, Eric, of course, and then from there becomes more interesting. So how about Phil Strader? That
Ooh,
dude has accomplished a lot in the sport.
he
He doesn't
has.
have his talent to record ratio is very skewed, but he has accomplished a lot in the sport, and he has not practiced but 6 times since 2003, and he's still doing as well as he is now. So his talent is pretty incredible.
He's also a
Uh,
really nice guy.
he's also he's a really close friend of mine. I mean, he's one of the coolest guys going. The last one, I don't know, and it's not because I defer on all the options, just that it's hard to neck it down. Uh, Damn, man. I try to think of people who are dominant, not just in the division they shoot, but anywhere, right? Probably Max. I mean, Max has been really, really. I mean, he's very well accomplished across different sports. But actually, not to scratch Max off, but probably Daniel Horner. Daniel Horner is an incredibly talented shooter across sports, not just across divisions. So if it's a
Dominant.
5, Max is on there. If it's just 4, I'm putting Daniel in there.
Damn, scratching Max off for your 4. That's rough business. That's rough
Sorry.
business. He better not listen to this before Carry Optics Nationals. He's gonna be coming for your
He's
ass.
gonna karate chop me in the neck.
Yeah,
when he sees
he's gonna finish shooting a good stage and look over at you and just be like, 4, motherfucker. But yeah, Daniel Horner's a beast, dude. He's a beast.
So people obviously know him for his super esteemed 3-gun career, in which he's extremely dominant. But he was also performed extremely well at the World Shoot, the 2014 World Shoot, I believe. And he's incredible pistol shooter. His willingness to take risk at USPSA matches is unlike anything else. And in terms of his just grit and determination and what he's capable of, mentally, is you listen to the shit he does, to hype himself up to shoot matches. Jake Hetherington is a great one to talk to about him because the two of them are like peas in a pod. But he's done some pretty amazing shit as far as just his own personal life and the way he challenges himself to do stuff. And he's super talented at sniper competitions, hunter competitions, PRS, 3-gun, amazing pistol shooter, all around. In terms of the total package, he's an amazing shooter.
What kind of shit have you heard he does to get himself hyped up for matches?
Dude, homie goes on 50-mile no food, no sleep rucks for days on end, just to prove he can do it. Oh yeah, we're just gonna go hike these mountain ranges with all my crap just to see if I can. And that's what he does. I remember Jake told me the dude will go annually. He makes it a point to do something that should be effectively impossible. He's yeah, I'm just gonna do this just because it'll be the hardest thing I do all year. And then no matter what I do for the rest of the year, I'll say, oh well, this doesn't suck quite as much as that ruck, so it can't be that bad. Right, Jake could tell you way more about it. Daniel could tell you way more about it. If he's willing to do it live, he'd be a great one to do it with, because he's very, very polished shooter.
I would love to get Daniel Horner on here. If anybody knows him, throw the word out. Anybody who's been that dominant is welcome on here anytime. I don't even know if he knows this podcast exists, but it'd be cool. So let's cap things off, man. Where can people find you? Who supports you? What do you got coming up that's pretty big that you want to announce?
Well, like I said, I don't have a whole lot of training going on. So if you want to set up training, go ahead and email me at masonlane.lsat@gmail.com. You can follow me online on Mason Lane Shooting, on Facebook and Instagram and stuff. What was the other thing you
OnlyFans.
said?
What's your
Yeah,
OnlyFans?
OnlyFans is Mason underscore XXX Lane. Just kidding. No, it's not.
All right, and then who are your sponsors, man? Shout them
Oh
out
yeah,
too.
Jesus, thank you. You're saving me. Grey Guns helps me out a lot. So they're the foremost provider of aftermarket SIG stuff and HK stuff. If you're trying to get your 320 messed with in any capacity whatsoever, they're the guys to talk to. Henning Group, as far as base pads and stuff like that. Ben Steger Pro Shop for ancillary USPSA gear needs. Blue
Texas
Bullets.
guys, woo woo.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, they're an awesome company. They're Tim and all those guys, they run a super tight shop when it comes to customer service and getting back to people in a timely fashion. Their pricing is fair, so it's kind of all you can ask for. Blue Bullets, for projectiles, they're really, really inexpensive for what they are, and they're the best, polymer coated bullet you can buy. So I like those quite a bit. And I think that's it. I mean, I don't know. SIG helps me out. They've given me some ammo and stuff like that. What?
Wait.
Oh yeah, GX Products also. Yeah, the GX Products guy, the dude that makes the holsters with the latches on them. You ought to cop yourself one of them if you shoot a division where that's reasonable to have. Again, like the fit and finish on those things is phenomenal, but mainly Leif is a really cool guy. And also, yeah, Ben was here last week and he left his sunglasses here, so I've been using those. I've been beating the tar out of them. So kind of sponsored by Ben in a sense. So
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. SIG's I will say their optics, their
they're
customer
airtight.
services, their customer service is incredible. I'll give them
Yep.
a shout out, dude. They don't help me out in any way besides just being awesome at customer service. My dot went down at Dragon's Cup, kept losing 0. I called the guy, was like, "Hey, dude, dot's out. What do I
Yep.
do?" He said, "Send it in." Right? I had a new dot 3 days later.
Yep. Yeah,
I'm
they're pretty good.
pretty sure they shipped me a new one before they got mine because I did
Yeah.
not pay for that shipping. I did
Yeah.
not pay for 3 day shipping. Okay,
Yep.
I'm a cheap ass.
Yep. No, they're really
So
good. That new generation of it's crazy to think that only in like 2017 like red dots were shit. Like literally carry optics was like kind of like a mixed bag. Like I honestly think the popularity of the division has surged in the context of reliable optics. And those things are pretty good. The Maxes and XLs are really nice. I use them on my own carry optics guns, the Maxes.
yeah, I use the XLs, but I like the Maxes as well. On a carry optics gun, I'd use the Max. But cool, brother. Well, dude, I appreciate it. This has been fun.
Yeah, dude.
I had a blast. Thank you again. Congratulations again on
No, thank you.
gonna get married here pretty quick. Defend your limited national title. I'm excited to see what happens there.
I will try.
Yeah. I'm not gonna hug Browning before the results come out.
What?
I made that You didn't hear
Oh
that?
man. I don't think so.
Dude, I had no idea you had won because I was just watching the Super Squad and everybody kept saying Browning won. So I was like, "Oh, cool, congratulations, bro!" Gave him a hug. Turn around, then I hear someone go, "Bro, Mason won," and I'm like,
I made a liar out of you.
"Oh shit!" I'm like, I feel like a dick.
Yep. No, I'm looking
But
forward to getting into shooting with those guys on the actual squad because I honestly I was obviously super stoked for myself. Like you're super gassed up for yourself when you accomplish something like that. But I felt bad for those guys that didn't get to at least shoot against me properly, mano a mano.
I don't know. I look at shooting with Super Squad as a big advantage.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
I think that you're shooting against the guys you're directly competing against, which means you have a gauge. You know what they're doing. You know what you have to do. You were shooting solo, right? So you just shot your match. It just
yep,
happened to be better than theirs.
yeah. Well, true.
Sucks to suck. Don't lose next time.
That's what KO says.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Sucks to suck. Don't lose next time. I don't know how to
Yep,
help you guys. Don't give Mason the freedom to go shoot on his own, you
yep.
know?
Super squads
But
are
yeah.
important. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm excited to see you try to go back to back on that. It's going to be awesome.
yeah. It'll be fun.
With a SIG.
Yeah, yeah. That's the
So,
only way to do it.
yeah,
It
right?
was super funny.
Awesome, brother.
Yep.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say this is stupid, but Cody always is on online, obviously thumping the Alice's, the Nemesis's, and whatever they are. I can never remember the names of them. But he always posts, if you want the best gun there is for limited division, go to this link and buy this gun. And I'm like, well, actually, until 2021 in October, the best gun you can buy for limited is the SIG 320.
Right, right. Yeah, for real, for real. Yeah, that's hilarious, man. I thought it was the best thing ever. Whenever someone said you won, and I was like, doesn't he shoot like SIGs? And I'm like, oh, he must have borrowed a 2011, right? That was what I thought originally. I was like, he
Yep.
must have borrowed someone's 2011 shot. I was like, but how do you do that shooting for gray guns? And then come to find out, you shot a tricked out gray guns 40,
Yep.
and I was like, okay, holy
Yep.
shit, he did it with a plastic gun. Here we
Yeah,
go.
man, no, things are not for nothing. Like, no one's gonna, I say this all the time, no one's gonna believe me, but those things shoot pretty damn soft. When you proportional to people's expectations, when they pick that thing up and shoot it, they're like, holy shit, that's really not bad. And I was able to shoot it just fine.
Can you
Someone
get
said,
those 40 uppers?
yeah, so they had a run of about 30 of them that all sold private sale. So if you want to get a hold of those, email Keith at Gray Guns, or just DM the Gray Guns Instagram, and they'll get you on the list that you can cop one of those. But there's new stuff coming, so if you want the Mason Lane special, DM them now. Otherwise, just get a hold of them and talk to them.
Are we gonna get a 320 Mason Lane?
I mean, like, I can sign it if you want, but I mean, like, I
You
don't
know how
think
they
that's
have
what
the
anybody cares
max?
about.
They have the max now. They
Yeah,
have the 320 max. Now we have 320 Mason Lane from Gray Guns.
the old 4.7-inch 40 cal, man. The thing's it's pretty legit. Put a little
Why
more
not?
mass in there than you think you need. It shoots pretty good.
Yeah, why not, bro? Give it a shot. I gotta shoot that thing next time I see you. I
Sure
gotta
thing.
bring it with you. You're gonna be at A7, right?
Yep. Yeah. I'll drag it out. What
Sweet.
day you shooting?
Shooting Sunday.
All right, word.
What are you shooting?
Saturday. But I'll be around every morning.
Cool. Roger that. Come find me. We'll have some fun. Well,
Word.
I'll be around Saturday anyway, so I'm gonna walk stages. I fly in. I think I landed like 1 o'clock,
Cool.
so I'm gonna come walk stages, and then we can go get drunk afterward. When you're done
Yeah.
shooting and I have to go shoot.
Before you're about to go shoot, that's a really good idea.
Why
Yeah.
not? No, no, I won't drink before I shoot, but well, I'll have one drink with you.
All right, fair
I'll
enough.
have one bush latte just because
Sounds
I'm gonna
good.
be with the champ. But awesome, brother. Well, dude, I appreciate you coming on, man. This was a
Yeah,
lot
of
of
course,
fun.
man.
We're definitely gonna have to do this again.
For sure. Yeah.
I say we do this after your next limited win,
Sure. Yeah.
next limited
That,
nationals
that'll
win.
that'll maybe be in October. We'll see.
We'll see. We'll have to do it again. We'll probably do it earlier than that. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Sounds good.
But awesome, brother. Well, congratulations again on everything, and thank you again for coming on, brother.
Thank you, man. Take care, bro.
All right, later, bud. Mason Lane, ladies and gentlemen. That guy is fun. Yeah, margaritas with Mason. We'll definitely have to do that. Thank you for sticking around this long. Like I said, a couple announcements that I did earlier. I'll do them again. Got Elm Tree Training Group doing some training now. So if you want to have me over for some classes, if you want to put a class together, contact Elm Tree Training Group. Tell them you want to set up some classes. I can also do private one-on-ones. Let me know. If you're in the Houston area, that's even easier. Or if you're going to be somewhere where I'm going to be shooting for my match schedule, I'll post my match schedule on their website. And you can also find it at Atlas. And if you're going to be at the same match as me and you want to do a private lesson, just let me know ahead of time. We can make it happen. And then I'm going to have some merch coming out. So it's going to be legit. It will be awesome looking merch. And then there will be some funny stuff. So keep an eye out for that. But thank you again for everybody that hung on this long. I appreciate you. And I'll see you on the range.